Hey everyone, before I get started, let me know if you'd like me to make a video on a specific topic. I'll do my best to make it happen. The village of Konoha was bustling with the usual morning activity. The sun rose slowly, casting a warm golden light over the rooftops of the Hidden Leaf village. The air was filled with the sounds of children laughing, vendors calling out their wares, and the distant sounds of ninjas training. On a fateful night, however, the village was enveloped in chaos. A sinister being, the Nine-Tails Fox, Kurama, had attacked the village, leaving destruction in its wake. As the villagers ran for their lives, the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, valiantly fought against the beast, determined to protect his home. With each swing of his kunai, Minato felt the weight of responsibility bearing down on him. He could see the devastation around him, the flames consuming buildings, the cries of his fellow villagers echoing in despair. The Nine-Tails roared, its massive form wreaking havoc as it swept through the streets. In the midst of the chaos, Minato realized that he had to act quickly. He rushed towards the beast, forming a plan in his mind. I can seal the fox within my newborn son, he thought, determination flaring within him. He will one day learn to control its power. As he arrived at the hospital, the air was thick with tension. Inside, his wife, Kushina Uzumaki, lay exhausted yet resilient after giving birth. Her red hair framed her face, and her eyes, usually filled with warmth, now held fear. Minato, she called, struggling to remain composed. Kushina, we must seal the Nine-Tails, he said, urgency in his voice. It's the only way to save the village. Kushina nodded, her eyes reflecting both fear and fierce love for their child. We can't let it destroy everything. As the sealing process began, a strange, celestial energy enveloped the newborn Naruto. Unbeknownst to everyone, a fragment of the legendary Sun Wukong's spirit, the Monkey King, sensed a turmoil. It felt the potential within the infant and chose to grant him a portion of its power. A surge of energy radiated from Naruto, intertwining with the chakra of the Nine-Tails. This child holds great potential, a voice echoed in the void, resonating with divine authority. He shall be the bridge between the chaos of the beast and the harmony of the heavens. In that moment, the power infused Naruto's being as the Nine-Tails chakra was sealed within him. This moment altered his fate forever, intertwining the destinies of the Monkey King and the young Jinchuriki. As Naruto grew, the villagers' whispers followed him. They called him a demon, a monster, and feared him for the power he housed. But there was something different about him. While he faced bullying and isolation, Naruto exhibited an unusual resilience and agility, often surprising his peers with his playful nature and uncanny ability to dodge attacks. Naruto's childhood was filled with loneliness, yet he possessed an indomitable spirit. He would often escape to the forests surrounding Konoha, where he would practice his chakra control and discover his unique abilities, remnants of Sun Wukong's legacy. One day, during a particularly rough bout with a group of bullies, Naruto felt a surge of power within him. Cornered and angry, he unknowingly tapped into the essence of Sun Wukong, transforming his emotions into raw energy. Leave me alone, he yelled, and in that moment, his chakra flared. He felt himself leap effortlessly into the air, almost as if he was flying. The bullies gasped as he landed gracefully, a mischievous grin on his face. What just happened? He thought, bewildered yet excited. That night, as he lay in bed, Naruto dreamed of a great Monkey King, laughing and dancing across the clouds, wielding a golden staff. You are destined for greatness, little one, the figure said. Embrace your power. As Naruto approached the age to become a genin, he began to train in secret, honing his skills. He practiced the shadow clone technique with newfound intensity, learning how to create multiple versions of himself. Each clone reflected his determination and spirit, allowing him to tackle difficult tasks with creativity and flair. On the day of his genin graduation, he stood in front of the Hokage Tower, anticipation coursing through him. With a mixture of excitement and nerves, he declared, I will be the greatest ninja. I will be Hokage. As the sun set over Konoha, casting long shadows across the village, Naruto's journey was just beginning. Unbeknownst to him, The path he would take would be marked not only by challenges and battles but also by the legacy of Sun Wukong that coursed through his veins. In the heart of the village, the whispers of the past began to fade, replaced by the promise of a new dawn, one where Naruto Uzumaki would forge his own destiny, drawing strength from both the Monkey King and the power of the Nine Tails. The morning sun broke over Kanata, casting a warm glow on the village as it stirred to life. Naruto Uzumaki stood outside the Hokage Tower, the anticipation building within him. Today was the day he would be assigned to a ninja team, a significant step toward realizing his dream of becoming Hokage. As he looked around at the other graduates, he could see the mixture of excitement and anxiety in their expressions. Among them stood Sasuke Uchiha, who had always carried himself with an air of confidence, and Sakura Haruno, whose determination shone through despite her occasional bouts of self-doubt. Naruto couldn't help but feel a sense of camaraderie with them, even if they hadn't always been friends. The door to the Hokage's office opened, and Iruka Mino, Naruto's teacher, stepped out with a smile. "Listen up, everyone. It's time to announce your team assignments." His voice boomed, capturing the attention of all the young ninja. Naruto's heart raced. This is it. I'll finally show everyone what I can do. He clenched his fists in determination, the warmth of Wukong's spirit guiding his excitement. Iruka began calling out names, pairing the students into their respective teams. One by one, familiar names rang out, filling the air with a mix of joy and disappointment. The atmosphere was tense as students eagerly awaited their fate. Team 7, Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, and Sakura Haruno. Iruka called out. Naruto's heart leaped. Yes. This is going to be awesome. He punched the air triumphantly, earning his surprised look from Sasuke and a shy smile from Sakura. Now, you all will be assigned to your Jonin instructor later today, Iruka explained, his tone serious. Make sure to show your best selves. As the announcement concluded, Naruto couldn't contain his excitement. We're going to be the best team ever, he declared, his trademark grin lighting up his face. Sasuke rolled his eyes but couldn't suppress a slight smirk. Just don't hold us back, Dobe. Sakura chimed in, a hint of encouragement in her voice. We'll have to work hard together, right? Naruto nodded vigorously. Yeah. We'll show everyone what we're made of. Later that day, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura gathered in a small clearing near the Hokage Tower, awaiting their new Jonin instructor. As the sun hung high in the sky, Naruto paced back and forth, his nerves on edge. What do you think our sensei will be like? He asked, trying to distract himself from his anxious energy. Sakura shrugged, a hint of excitement in her eyes. I hope he's strong. I want to learn from the best. Sasuke leaned against a tree, arms crossed. Strength doesn't come from wishful thinking. We need to be prepared. Suddenly, a figure appeared before them, materializing out of thin air. It was a man with silver hair and a relaxed demeanor, wearing a mask that obscured the lower half of his face. You must be Team 7, he said, a lazy smile on his lips. I'm Kakashi Hatake, your Jonin instructor? Naruto blinked, taken aback. You're late, he exclaimed, already feeling a spark of rivalry. Kakashi chuckled lightly. That's a habit of mine. But it's good to see such enthusiasm. Let's get to know each other. As they introduced themselves, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that Kakashi held an air of mystery. He was strong, that much was clear, but there was something deeper lurking beneath his casual facade. All right, let's start with a little exercise, Kakashi said. I want to see what each of you can do. Show me your best techniques. Naruto's eyes lit up. I'll go first. He focused his chakra, calling upon the essence of Sun Wukong. In an instant, multiple clones of himself appeared, surrounding Kakashi in a whirlwind of energy. Shadow Clone Jutsu, he shouted, grinning as he watched Kakashi's bemused expression. Kakashi observed, his eyes narrowing slightly. Impressive. But remember, quality over quantity. With a flick of his wrist, Kakashi dispelled Naruto's clones effortlessly, their forms bursting into smoke. Naruto felt a mix of embarrassment and determination. "I can do better," he proclaimed, gathering his chakra again. Next, Sasuke stepped forward, his Sharingan activated. Fire style, fireball jutsu. A massive fireball erupted from his mouth, soaring toward a nearby tree, leaving a charred mark in its wake. Kakashi nodded, a hint of approval in his voice. "Good control, Sasuke. Now let's see what you can do, Sakura." Sakura hesitated but stepped up, determination etched on her face. "I've been practicing my chakra control." She concentrated, causing a small amount of cherry blossom petals to swirl around her. "Petal jutsu?" Kakashi smiled. "That's a nice technique, but we'll need more power for the missions ahead." As the day progressed, Kakashi continued to assess their abilities. Each of them had strengths, but he could see that they would need to work together to reach their full potential. A test of strength. Finally, Kakashi said, "Tomorrow, we'll have a test. I want to see how well you can work as a team." Naruto felt a surge of excitement. "We'll be the best team, Kakashi-sensei. Just you wait." Sasuke's expression was more reserved, but a flicker of anticipation sparkled in his eyes. Sakura nodded, inspired by Naruto's confidence. As they left the training ground, Naruto couldn't help but feel that this was the beginning of something great. His heart raced at the thought of future missions, adventures, and the chance to prove himself not just to the village, but to the spirits of Wukong and Karam residing within him. That night, as he lay in bed, the dream of the Monkey King returned. "Embrace your potential, Naruto. Your journey has just begun." With those words echoing in his mind, Naruto drifted into a deep sleep, his heart filled with determination and hope for the challenges ahead. The sun rose over Kanata, bathing the village in a bright, golden light. Birds chirped cheerily as they flitted between the trees, unaware of the tension brewing in the hearts of three young ninja. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura gathered at their usual meeting spot, anticipation coursing through their veins. Today was the day of their first test with Kakashi. Naruto bounced on his feet, his energy nearly palpable. "I can't wait. We're going to show Kakashi-sensei what we're made of." He grinned widely, fists clenched in excitement. Sasuke stood with his arms crossed, maintaining his usual stoic demeanor. "Don't get cocky, dope. We need to work together." His tone was serious, but Naruto could sense a flicker of competitiveness beneath the surface. Sakura adjusted her headband, determination shining in her eyes. "Let's focus on our teamwork. That's what really matters." Kakashi arrived a few minutes later, his signature lazy demeanor still intact. "Good morning, Team 7. Are you ready for your test?" He looked at them, his expression unreadable beneath his mask. "Yes," Naruto shouted, filled with confidence. "Let's do this," Sakura added, her voice steady. Kakashi gestured for them to follow him into the forest surrounding the village. As they walked, he explained the rules of the test. "Today, you will have to retrieve my bell. You need to work together to do so. If you can't, one of you will be sent back to the academy." Naruto felt a chill run down his spine. "Back to the academy? No way. We can't let that happen." He glanced at Sasuke and Sakura, determination burning in his eyes. "We'll do it. I won't let anyone hold us back." Kakashi led them to a clearing, where he stood near a tree, two bells dangling from his waist. "The test starts now. If you don't get the bells in 30 minutes, you'll fail." With that, he leaned against the tree, casually flitting through a book, seemingly unconcerned about the task at hand. "What do we do?" Sakura asked, glancing between Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto grinned, an idea sparking in his mind. "I'll create a bunch of clones to distract him. While he's focused on them, you guys can sneak in." "That's a good start," Sasuke replied, already forming a plan in his mind. "But we need to be quick and coordinated." Naruto concentrated, drawing on the chakra within him, invoking the power of Sun Wukong. Shadow Clone Jutsu. A flurry of Naruto clones erupted around him, each one grinning and ready for action. Go! Distract Kakashi, he shouted, and the clones charged at Kakashi, yelling and shouting as they swarmed around him. Kakashi barely looked up from his book, lazily dispelling the clones with swift movements. Nice try, he said, a smirk playing on his lips. Meanwhile, Sasuke and Sakura moved quietly through the trees, taking advantage of the chaos Naruto created. Now's our chance, Sasuke whispered, eyes focused on the bells. Sakura nodded, her heart racing as they approached Kakashi. Just as they were about to reach him, Kakashi's eyes snapped up, noticing their movements. You're not going to sneak up on me that easily. With a swift movement, he leaped into the air, landing a distance away. Naruto, witnessing this, shouted, "Hey! Over here!" He sent several clones charging toward Kakashi once more, but this time, he added a twist. Transformation Jutsu. The clones morphed into giant versions of the Nine Tails, roaring as they charged at their instructor. Kakashi's eyes widened slightly, momentarily caught off guard. Impressive, but still not enough. He swiftly evaded the clones, but Naruto's distraction bought Sasuke and Sakura precious moments. Sakura sprang into action, using her agility to dodge past the clones. I'll get the bells, she called, reaching for them. Just as she extended her hand, Kakashi turned, noticing her approach. Not so fast. He was quick, dodging her grasp and countering with a flick of his wrist that sent Sakura stumbling back. This isn't working, Sasuke said, frustration creeping into his voice. We need a new plan. Naruto, still filled with enthusiasm, shouted, we won't give up. Let's try again. He began to create more clones, each one taking on different forms. I'll use my clones as a distraction while you two find an opening, he declared, determined to keep the pressure on Kakashi. Fine, Sasuke said, ready to adapt. Let's do it. As the clones charged again, Naruto called out to Sasuke and Sakura. Let's work together. On my mark, go. Kakashi observed, his expression shifting as he saw Naruto's determination. These kids have potential, he thought, impressed by their spirit. When the signal came, Naruto sent his clones forward once more. This time, they surrounded Kakashi, creating a whirlwind of movement. In the midst of the chaos, Sasuke and Sakura darted in, timing their movements perfectly. But Kakashi, ever vigilant, leaped back, evading their grasp yet again. You'll need more than just a distraction. As time ticked away, Naruto felt the pressure mounting. Come on. We can do this. Drawing on the essence of Sun Wukong, he focused his chakra. Let's combine our strengths. With renewed determination, the trio coordinated their efforts. Naruto unleashed a barrage of clones, while Sasuke prepared a fire-style technique. Fire-style, Phoenix Fire Jutsu. He released a stream of fire, sending it toward Kakashi, forcing him to dodge. Sakura, seizing the moment, charged forward again, this time focusing on her own strength. Sakura Blossom Punch. She aimed for Kakashi, catching him off guard with a powerful strike. Kakashi, feeling the force of her attack, barely managed to evade, but not without being pushed back slightly. Interesting, he muttered, clearly impressed. But just as victory seemed within their grasp, Kakashi countered with a swift motion. Substitution Jutsu. In a blink, he switched places with a nearby log, leaving the trio momentarily confused. What? Where did he go? Naruto exclaimed, scanning the area. Kakashi reappeared behind them, the bell still secure at his waist. You'll need to think outside the box if you want to win. With time running out, Naruto felt a rush of adrenaline. We can't give up. We're Team 7. He shouted, rallying his teammates. Drawing on the essence of the Monkey King, he focused his chakra once more. Let's do this. In a burst of creativity, He conjured an array of clones that formed a barrier around Kakashi, simultaneously launching attacks to confuse him. Now, go for the bells. Sasuke and Sakura charged forward, their hearts pounding in unison. Kakashi was momentarily overwhelmed, the sheer number of clones making it difficult for him to focus. "You've improved, but it's still not enough," he shouted, his voice steady. As Sasuke made his final dash for the bells, Naruto's clones distracted Kakashi, causing him to divert his attention. Sasuke leaped, his eyes locked onto the bells, determination burning within him. But just as victory seemed close, Kakashi reached for a smoke bomb hidden beneath his cloak. "Not today," he said, tossing it to the ground. A thick cloud of smoke enveloped the clearing, obscuring everything in a gray haze. "What the?" Naruto shouted, feeling the confusion wash over him. In the midst of the smoke, Kakashi's voice cut through. "You can't rely solely on distractions. Teamwork is essential." As the smoke began to clear, Naruto took a deep breath, channeling the entity of Sun Wukong. "All right, we need to regroup." Sasuke and Sakura nodded, quickly finding each other amidst the confusion. "What's the plan?" Sakura asked, determination shining in her eyes. Naruto grinned. "We'll draw on each other's strengths. Together, we'll show Kakashi what we can do." With their hearts united, the trio charged forward, their teamwork stronger than ever. "Let's go!" Naruto shouted, fueled by the spirit of Wukong. In that moment, they were no longer just individual ninjas, they were Team 7, united in purpose and strength. The smoke from Kakashi's bomb slowly dissipated, revealing the clearing shrouded in an eerie silence. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura stood together, their hearts racing. The thrill of the challenge surged within them as they prepared for their next move. "We can't let this moment slip away," Naruto declared, his eyes burning with determination. "We've got to use everything we've got." Sasuke glanced around, assessing their surroundings. "We need to predict his movements. Kakashi is experienced, he'll be prepared for anything we throw at him." Sakura nodded in agreement. "Let's think strategically. We know he's fast, but if we can distract him long enough, we can make our move." As the trio strategized, Kakashi's voice broke through the remaining haze. "Nice to see you regrouped. But remember, this is a test of teamwork, not just individual strength." Suddenly, he reappeared in the clearing, his relaxed posture hinting at his confidence. "Let's see what you can do together." Naruto, emboldened by the words of Sun Wukong echoing in his mind, shouted, "All right, let's show him." A new strategy. With a shared understanding, they split into two groups. Naruto would create a wall of clones to distract Kakashi while Sasuke and Sakura executed a flanking maneuver. "Now!" Naruto yelled, creating dozens of clones once more, each one ready to charge at Kakashi. "Go!" The clones surged forward, a chaotic wave of energy, surrounding Kakashi, and attempting to pin him down. Sasuke and Sakura stealthily moved through the trees, their eyes locked on the instructor. "We'll approach from both sides," Sasuke whispered, his Sharingan activated. "On my mark." With Kakashi occupied, Naruto shouted, "Hey, Kakashi! Over here!" The clones shouted in unison, drawing Kakashi's attention. Kakashi smirked, dispelling the nearest clones with a quick flick of his wrist, but Naruto had anticipated this. "Now, Sakura," he called out. Sakura sprinted forward, her fist charged with chakra. Sakura Blossom Punch. She aimed to strike Kakashi, her movements fluid and precise. Kakashi swiftly sidestepped, but Sasuke was ready. Fire Style, Phoenix Fire Jutsu. The flames burst forth, aimed directly at Kakashi. Kakashi was forced to dodge, momentarily leaving an opening. "Good teamwork, but you'll need more than that," he said, leaping back. The power of the Monkey King. Seeing their chance, Naruto summoned his remaining clones. Time for a new trick. He focused on his connection to Sun Wukong, channeling the essence of the legendary figure within him. Shadow Clone Jutsu. The clones multiplied, forming a massive wave. Wukon's fury. Naruto shouted, and with a swift motion, he directed the clones to charge at Kakashi in an organized formation, overwhelming him with sheer numbers. As the clones attacked, Sasuke and Sakura quickly positioned themselves for the final assault. "We'll finish this together," Sakura declared, a fire ignited in her spirit. Naruto's clones began to push Kakashi back, and Ajanin found himself surrounded yet again. "Impressive, but still not enough," he said, his voice steady. Just as Naruto's clones closed in, Kakashi executed a swift counter. Body flicker technique. In an instant, he vanished, reappearing behind Naruto and his clones. "What?" Naruto exclaimed, feeling the impact of Kakashi's palm as he dispelled several clones with a single strike. But the real power lay in teamwork. As Kakashi turned to face the remaining clones, Sasuke shouted, "Now!" Sakura launched herself into the air, using the momentum to gain height. Sakura Blossom Punch. She aimed for Kakashi, who was momentarily distracted by the oncoming clones. Kakashi turned, but it was too late. Sakura's punch connected, sending him staggering back. "Great job, Sakura!" Naruto cheered, his heart swelling with pride. A shifting strategy. Kakashi, however, recovered quickly. "You've improved, but don't celebrate yet." He focused, pulling a smoke bomb from his pouch once more. "Look out!" Sasuke warned, but it was too late. Kakashi tossed a bomb again, enveloping the clearing in a thick cloud of smoke. In the confusion, Naruto's clones flailed about, their efforts hampered. "What do we do now?" he shouted, frustration creeping in. Sasuke concentrated, the Sharingan allowing him to see through the haze. "Stay calm. We can't let the smoke confuse us." Sakura inhaled deeply, recalling her training. "Let's stay together. We can't lose sight of one another." As the smoke began to clear, Kakashi's voice echoed through the clearing. "You need to anticipate your opponent's moves. Think like a team." Naruto clenched his fists, channeling the spirit of Wukong once more. "We won't let you down, Kakashi-sensei." Drawing on his reserves of chakra, he formed a new set of clones, each one imbued with the essence of Sun Wukong. Time to take it up a notch. As the clones charged forward, Sasuke and Sakura readied themselves. "Let's synchronize our attacks," Sasuke said, glancing at Sakura. "Right," she replied, confidence growing. Naruto led the charge. "Let's go. Wukong's power is with us." The final push. In a dramatic display, Naruto and his clones surged forward, overwhelming Kakashi with sheer force. Sasuke unleashed a flurry of shuriken, while Sakura utilized her enhanced strength to strike from below. Kakashi dodged and countered, but the relentless wave of attacks began to wear him down. "All right, you've proven yourselves tenacious," he admitted, his tone shifting. Feeling the pressure, Naruto shouted, "Now, Sakura. Go for the bells." Sakura took the cue, sprinting forward while Naruto kept Kakashi occupied with clones. "I can do this," she yelled, determination fueling her steps. Kakashi, noticing the rush, prepared to counter. "You won't get past me," he declared, but Sasuke had a plan. "Fire style, fireball jutsu," Sasuke shouted, launching a fireball to distract Kakashi at the last moment. Kakashi was forced to focus on the incoming flames, and in that split second, Sakura dove for the bells. "I got it," she shouted triumphantly, fingers just brushing against the bells. But Kakashi, with a quick recovery, reached out, snatching the bells just as Sakura grasped them. Too slow. The trio stumbled back, panting heavily, frustration mixing with exhilaration. "That was so close," Naruto exclaimed, unable to hide his disappointment. Kakashi chuckled, clearly amused. "You all have great potential, but teamwork needs to be more than just individual effort. Let's try again." Learning from defeat. Naruto clenched his fists, frustration boiling beneath the surface. We can't give up. We've got to learn from this. Kakashi nodded. Good mindset, Naruto. Remember, teamwork is about understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses. Let's refine your strategies. The group gathered around Kakashi as he began to explain. You all have unique abilities. Naruto, your clones are a powerful asset. Use them to create opportunities for your teammates. Sasuke crossed his arms. And we need to coordinate better. We can't rely solely on one person to make the move. Kakashi smiled, impressed with their ability to analyze their own performance. Exactly. It's about synergy. If you learn to play off each other's strengths, you'll be unstoppable. Sakura nodded, determination shining in her eyes. We'll improve together. As they regrouped, the trio felt a renewed sense of purpose. Naruto, inspired by the spirit of Sun Wukong, was determined to prove himself not just for his own dreams but for his teammates as well. Let's give it another shot, he shouted, energy surging within him. With a newfound focus, Team 7 prepared for their next attempt. The bond they were forming, the lessons they were learning, and the power of their shared goals fueled their spirits. As they readied themselves for the test once more, Naruto could feel the presence of both Wukong and Kurama within him, guiding him toward greatness. We're going to become the best ninja ever. With their hearts aligned, Team 7 faced Kakashi once more, ready to put their training to the test. As the sun reached its zenith, Team 7 gathered once more in the clearing where they had faced Kakashi earlier. The atmosphere was charged with determination and excitement. The trio stood in a circle, each one reflecting on their previous attempt at the bell test. All right, we've got to focus this time, Naruto declared, his fists clenched in anticipation. We can't let Kakashi get the best of us again. Sasuke nodded, his Sharingan activated as he contemplated their previous strategies. We need to be smarter about how we use our abilities. We've got to create openings for each other, not just rely on Naruto's clones. Sakura, brimming with newfound confidence, chimed in. Let's incorporate our strengths into a single plan. We can catch Kakashi off guard. Agreed. Naruto exclaimed, his excitement infectious. Let's brainstorm some ideas. As they brainstormed, Naruto suggested using his clones in a more strategic manner. What if I created a version with a large number of clones, while you two sneak around to get the bells? Sasuke frowned, considering the implications. It could work, but we need a way to keep Kakashi busy long enough for you to get close. Sakura smiled, her mind racing with possibilities. What if I use my strength to create a distraction? I can draw Kakashi's attention while you two coordinate the attack. That's a good idea. Naruto agreed. And I'll use some clones to surround him so he can't escape. As they strategized, Naruto couldn't help but feel the power of Sun Wukong coursing through him. The essence of the Monkey King brought confidence and clarity to his mind. He could sense the strength growing within him and felt a bond with his teammates strengthening as well. Okay, here's the plan, Sasuke outlined. Naruto, you'll create as many clones as possible to distract Kakashi. Sakura, you'll use your strength to draw him away from his position. I'll be ready to strike when the moment is right. With their plan solidified, they took a moment to prepare. Naruto gathered his chakra, focusing on the essence of Wukong. Let's do this, he shouted, summoning a massive army of clones, each one ready to engage Kakashi. As they waited, the trio felt the anticipation build. The sun glinted off their forehead protectors, as symbol of their resolve. Remember, no matter what happens, we work together, Sakura reminded them, her voice steady. Let's show Kakashi what we are made of. Naruto added, determination surging through him. With a shared nod, they set their plan into motion. The next attempt. Kakashi arrived moments later, looking amused as he glanced at the gathering of clones. Ready for round 2? He asked, his voice calm and teasing. Naruto grinned. You bet we are? With a shout, he unleashed his clones. Shadow Clone Jutsu. The clearing filled with a swarm of Narutos, all charged with energy and excitement. Let's go! Sakura yelled, charging forward. She focused her chakra, readying herself for her role in the plan. Kakashi, over here? Kakashi smirked, prepared to engage, but before he could react, Naruto's clones surged forward, creating a whirlwind of movement around him. As Kakashi dispelled the first wave of clones, Sakura sprang into action. Sakura Blossom Punch. She launched herself into the air, hoping to catch him off guard. Kakashi, however, was prepared. He dodged to the side, but in doing so, he left an opening for Sasuke. Now, Sasuke? Naruto shouted, urging him to take his shot. Sasuke, positioned perfectly behind Kakashi, unleashed a quick shuriken jutsu, sending a flurry of shuriken flying at Kakashi. Kakashi turned just in time, deflecting the shuriken, but in doing so, he lost track of Sakura, who landed on the ground behind him, readying another attack. As the chaos unfolded, Naruto continued to direct his clones. Don't let up! Keep him busy, he yelled, creating even more clones to overwhelm Kakashi. Kakashi's expression shifted as he realized the sheer number of clones. Impressive, he said, grinning under his mask. But he quickly shifted into action, leaping high into the air to gain a vantage point. You'll have to try harder. Sasuke, not to be outdone, took advantage of Kakashi's moment of distraction. Fire style, Phoenix Fire Jutsu. He unleashed a volley of flames toward Kakashi, forcing him to dodge again. Sakura saw the opening. Now, she charged forward, focusing her chakra into her fist. Sakura Blossom Punch. She aimed to land a powerful blow, hoping to catch him off guard. Kakashi, however, executed his body flicker technique, vanishing just as Sakura struck. The punch hit the ground, sending debris flying, but Kakashi reappeared behind her. Nice try, he quipped, but Naruto was quick to act. Hey, Kakashi? Naruto shouted, summoning even more clones. Over here. As Kakashi turned to face him, Naruto yelled, Wukon's power? He channeled the essence of the Monkey King, enhancing his clones with agility and speed. The clones danced around Kakashi, creating a chaotic diversion. Sasuke and Sakura took their cue. Now, let's move. Sasuke instructed, coordinating their actions. With Naruto distracting Kakashi, Sasuke and Sakura darted around, closing the distance. As the clones surrounded Kakashi, he found himself at a disadvantage. You've got to be kidding me, he said, starting to feel the pressure. Sakura saw her moment. Kakashi, you're not getting away this time. She lunged forward, her fist ready to strike. But just as she was about to land a blow, Kakashi flickered again. Substitution Jutsu. He switched places with a nearby log, leaving Sakura to punch nothing but air. Damn it, she exclaimed, frustration bubbling beneath the surface. Regrouping in reflection. As the smoke began to clear, Naruto felt a pang of frustration. We're so close. We can't give up. Kakashi, watching their reactions, smiled behind his mask. You all have great potential, but remember this test isn't just about strategy. It's about trust and communication. Sasuke glanced at Sakura and then back at Naruto. We need to keep our focus. We're almost there. Let's regroup. Sakura suggested, her eyes scanning the clearing for any sign of Kakashi. As they huddled together, Naruto felt the power of Wukong within him, a reminder that he had the strength to push forward. We'll get it this time. I know we can. Sasuke nodded, determination glinting in his eyes. We need to adapt and learn from our mistakes. Let's come at him from different angles this time. I'll create a diversion again, Naruto said, his voice filled with confidence. But I'll be more strategic this time. Sakura grinned, feeling the energy in the air. Let's do this. With their minds aligned, They prepared for one last attempt. Naruto summoned a fresh batch of clones, ready to charge at Kakashi. Let's go. As the clones surged forward, Sasuke positioned himself on a high branch, his Sharingan focused and sharp. I'll watch for openings, he stated, ready to act at a moment's notice. Sakura joined Naruto in the charge. Together, she shouted, and they dashed toward Kakashi, determination fueling their movements. Kakashi, prepared for their approach, chuckled lightly. You think you can take me down? He leaped into the air, ready to evade their attacks. But this time, Naruto shouted, wait. Sasuke, now. Sasuke unleashed another volley of shuriken while simultaneously using his Sharingan to predict Kakashi's movements. This time, I can see what you are planning. As Kakashi dodged a shuriken, Naruto called upon the essence of Wukong. Clones, encircled him. The clones adjusted their movements, following his command. Sakura, seizing the moment, launched herself into the air again. Sakura Blossom Punch. She struck downward, targeting Kakashi, who was still distracted by the clones. Kakashi tried to dodge, but this time, the clones closed in on him, forcing him to pivot. Not again, he exclaimed. In a moment of pure synchronization, Sakura's punch landed. The ground shook as she made contact, sending Kakashi tumbling backward. We did it. Naruto yelled, exhilaration surging through him as the realization set in. As the dust settled, Kakashi lay sprawled on the ground, the bell slitting from his grasp. You've improved, he said, pushing himself up and chuckling. Congratulations, Team 7. The trio erupted into cheers, embracing their hard-fought victory. We actually did it. Sakura exclaimed, her voice filled with joy. Sasuke allowed a rare smile to break through his serious demeanor. We worked together and adapted. That's what made the difference. Naruto felt the warmth of camaraderie filling his heart. This is just the beginning. We're going to become the best team ever. Kakashi, standing up and brushing himself off, held the bells aloft. You've proven yourselves today, but remember, this is just the first step. There are many more challenges ahead. As they celebrated their victory, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that he was destined for greatness. The spirit of Sun Wukong thrummed within him, urging him to embrace his journey and protect those he cared about. Let's keep training. Naruto shouted, his enthusiasm infectious. I want to become stronger and protect my friends. And as the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the clearing, Team 7 knew that together they could face any challenge. The sun rose over Konohagakure, illuminating the village with a warm, golden light. Excitement buzzed through the air as Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura made their way to the training grounds. Today marked the beginning of their next challenge, the chunin exams. I can't believe we're finally here, Naruto exclaimed, practically bouncing on his feet. This is our chance to prove ourselves. Sakura smiled, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. We've trained hard for this. I know we can make it. Sasuke remained stoic, but a small smirk crept onto his lips. We'll show everyone what we're capable of. As they arrived at the designated meeting area, they found a large crowd of genin from various villages gathered, their excitement palpable. The air crackled with nervous energy as everyone prepared for the exams that would determine their rank and abilities. The exam begins. Kakashi appeared, his usual nonchalant demeanor in place. Welcome to the chunin exams, everyone. The first part will be a written test. You'll be assessed on your intelligence and ability to work under pressure. The genin exchanged glances, a mix of determination and anxiety evident on their faces. A written test. Naruto scoffed. How hard can that be? Kakashi raised an eyebrow. This isn't your typical test. You'll need to answer the questions without getting caught cheating. If you're caught, you'll be disqualified. A murmur swept through the crowd, the realization dawning on them. So we can't just rely on our skills. Sasuke muttered, a hint of frustration in his voice. Stay sharp, Sakura reminded them. We'll figure it out together. As the test began, Naruto struggled to focus. He was eager to showcase his skills but found himself struggling with the questions. This is so dumb, he whispered to himself. Why do we need to know this stuff? Sakura shot him a glare. Focus, Naruto. We need to pass this. With a deep breath, Naruto pushed through the exam, determined to do his best. A clever distraction. As the test continued, Naruto noticed several students around him sneaking glances at each other's papers. An idea struck him. Hey, Shizuke. What if we create a distraction? He whispered. Shizuke glanced around, considering the idea. It could work, but we need to be careful. Sakura rolled her eyes. You two are ridiculous. Just focus on your own papers. As Naruto scribbled down his answers, he prepared to execute his plan. All right, let's do this. He activated his ability, summoning clones to create a commotion across the room. The clones erupted into loud conversations, causing a stir. Students turned to watch, and in the chaos, several began to glance at Naruto's paper. Look at those idiots. Shizuke muttered, smirking at the scene. Sakura shook her head. I can't believe you actually pulled that off. Kakashi observed from the sidelines, his expression hidden behind his mask. Clever, but don't think you'll get away with it that easily. With the distractions in place, Naruto quickly filled in his answers. By the time the test concluded, he felt a mix of relief and pride. I think I did okay. As they exited the testing area, the trio exchanged their thoughts. That was intense. Sakura said, her heart still racing. We'll find out soon if we passed. I think we did just fine, Shizuke replied, his confidence evident. Into the Forest of Death. The next phase of the chunin exams was set to take place in the Forest of Death, a treacherous training ground known for its dangers. As the group gathered again, a sense of unease settled over them. This is where the real challenge begins, Kakashi warned. You'll be put to the test, not just in skill, but also in teamwork and survival. The genin murmured among themselves, their eyes wide with apprehension. Is it really as dangerous as they say? Naruto asked, his voice betraying a hint of worry. Kakashi nodded. You'll face formidable opponents, and the environment itself is a challenge. Stick together and trust in each other. With that, the genin were led into the Forest of Death, a sprawling wilderness filled with towering trees and a thick underbrush. The atmosphere felt charged, as if the forest itself was alive. Remember, our goal is to collect 2 of the opposing team's scrolls, Sakura explained, her voice steady. We have to keep our eyes on the prize. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they could hear the sounds of nature around them, the rustling of leaves, the distant calls of birds, and the occasional roar of an unseen creature. First encounters. After several hours of navigating the treacherous terrain, the team stopped to catch their breath. We should set up a base camp, Shizuke suggested. We'll need a plan if we encounter other teams. Naruto nodded eagerly. I can create clones to scout ahead. Sakura frowned. But we should be careful. We don't know what kinds of traps or enemies are out here. Suddenly, they heard a rustling in the bushes nearby. They turned to see a group of 3 genin from the Sound Village approaching, their expressions confident and menacing. Well, what do we have here? One of them taunted, stepping forward with a sneer. Looks like easy prey. Shizuke's eyes narrowed. We won't go down without a fight. Let's show them what we've got. Naruto shouted, his excitement palpable. The Sound genin smirked, clearly underestimating Team 7. You think you can take us? Let's see what you're made of. A fiery battle. As the fight began, Naruto summoned his clones, surrounding the enemy in a whirlwind of orange and energy. Let's go, everyone. The Sound genin responded with their own jutsu, and a battle erupted. One of the Sound genin unleashed a wave of wind, forcing Naruto's clones to scatter. You're going to have to do better than that. Sakura quickly responded, charging in with her strength. Sakura Blossom Punch. She aimed for the genin, her punch landing solidly and sending him reeling backward. Meanwhile, Shizuke engaged another enemy, using his Sharingan to anticipate their moves. Fire style, fireball jutsu, he called, sending a blazing fireball toward his opponent. The enemy dodged, but Shizuke quickly followed up with a series of shuriken, catching them off guard. Teamwork in action. As Naruto continued to rally his clones, he saw one of the sound genin targeting Sakura. "Sakura, watch out," he yelled, rushing forward. With a swift movement, he intercepted the attack, using his clones to protect Sakura. "I won't let them hurt you," he shouted, determination fueling him. Sakura smiled, feeling empowered by Naruto's support. "Thanks, Naruto. Let's finish this together." Naruto and Sakura coordinated their attacks, unleashing a flurry of punches and jutsu, while Shizuke kept the enemies occupied. "We can't let them get away," Shizuke said, his voice steady as he kept a close eye on their movements. With a final push, Naruto shouted, "Wukon's fury," and directed his clones in a concentrated assault. The combined force overwhelmed the sound genin, forcing them to retreat. "This isn't over," one of them shouted as they fled into the forest, leaving Team 7 victorious. A moment of reflection. Breathing heavily, Naruto looked at his teammates, excitement surging through him. "We did it. We worked together." Shizuke nodded, wiping the sweat from his brow. "That was a good first encounter. We need to stay vigilant." Sakura smiled, pride swelling in her chest. "If we keep this up, we'll definitely make it through." As they continued their journey through the forest of death, the bond between the three grew stronger. They were not just individual shinobi, they were a team, united by their goals and experiences. But as they ventured deeper into the forest, the feeling of danger lingered. The chunin exams were just beginning, and the challenges ahead would test not only their skills but their resolve as well. Naruto felt the power of Sun Wukong within him, guiding him forward. "We're going to make it through this," he declared, determination shining in his eyes. And with that, Team 7 forged ahead, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the heart of the forest of death. The air was thick with tension as Team 7 ventured deeper into the forest of death. The vibrant greenery around them contrasted sharply with the ominous aura that seemed to envelop the area. Each rustle of leaves and distant call of a creature heightened their senses, reminding them that danger lurked in every shadow. As they moved cautiously, Shizuke's eyes scanned the surroundings, his Sharingan activated to enhance his perception. "We need to stay focused. The further we go, the more hostile the environment will become." Naruto nodded, a sense of determination fueling his steps. "Right. We'll keep our guard up. Let's stay together." Sakura, feeling the weight of the moment, added, "And we should keep an eye out for other teams. We can't afford to be caught off guard." As they ventured deeper, the dense foliage began to thin, revealing a clearing. In the center stood a massive tree, its trunk white and gnarled, towering over everything around it. A strange energy radiated from it, captivating Naruto. "What's that tree?" he asked, stepping forward. Shizuke furrowed his brow. "It looks like it's been here for ages. We should be cautious." Before they could investigate further, a voice echoed from behind them. "You should really be careful about where you wander, don't you think?" Turning around, they found themselves facing a trio of genin from the Rain Village. The leader, a tall boy with silver hair and an arrogant smirk, stepped forward. "We're not here for a chat," Shizuke replied, his stance shifting into a more defensive position. "You might want to reconsider that," the boy taunted. "We're looking for scrolls, and you just might have what we need." Realizing they were outnumbered, Naruto quickly summoned a few clones. "We can take them," he declared, readying himself for a fight. "Don't underestimate them," Shizuke warned, his eyes narrowing. "They might have tricks up their sleeves." As if on cue, the Rain Genin sprang into action, launching a barrage of kunai toward Team 7. Naruto's clones sprang forward to intercept, but the leader threw a smoke bomb, engulfing the area in a thick cloud. "This won't end well for you," he shouted through the haze. Sakura, her heart racing, focused on her chakra. "Stay close. We can't let them separate us." Through the smoke, Sasuke could see vague silhouettes moving. "They are trying to flank us. Prepare yourselves." As the smoke began to clear, Naruto felt the power of Sun Wukong surging through him, sharpening his senses. "Now, let's show them what we can do." With a burst of energy, Naruto charged forward, his clones at his side. Shadow Clone Jetsu. He summoned an army of clones, flooding the clearing and creating chaos among the enemy ranks. The Rain Genin were momentarily stunned by the sheer number of Narutos. "What the?" one of them exclaimed, wide-eyed. Sasuke seized the opportunity. "Fire style, Fireball Jetsu." He unleashed a blazing fireball, targeting the distracted enemies. As the flames roared forward, the leader managed to evade, but one of his teammates wasn't so lucky. The explosion sent them tumbling backward, dazed. "Get it together," the leader shouted, regaining his composure. "We can't let them get the upper hand." Sakura moved in, launching a series of swift punches. Sakura Blossom Punch. She aimed for the leader, but he dodged just in time, smirking at her determination. "Nice try. But you'll have to do better than that," he taunted. Teamwork in action. Naruto wasn't about to let up. "Wukong's power," he yelled, channeling his strength into a single clone. The clone transformed into a larger, more powerful version of himself, mimicking Sun Wukong's fighting style. "Let's go," the clone shouted, charging at the leader with incredible speed. The Rain Genin leader felt a chill run down his spine. "What the hell is that?" As the giant Naruto clone engaged the leader, Sasuke, and Sakura worked in tandem to take down the remaining Genin. Sasuke used his Sharingan to predict their movements, dodging their attacks with ease. "You're too slow," he mocked, landing quick, precise strikes that incapacitated one of the opponents. Sakura followed up with a powerful blow to another, her fist striking with the weight of her training behind them. "This is for underestimating us." With their teamwork in full effect, the battle began to shift in Team 7's favor. Naruto's giant clone overwhelmed the leader, forcing him to retreat. "We can't let them win," he shouted, desperately trying to regain control. But with one final push, Naruto's clone delivered a devastating kick, sending the leader crashing into a tree. The remaining Genin, realizing they were outmatched, exchanged glances. "We need to get out of here," one of them shouted, panic evident in their voice. "No. We can't lose," the leader roared, but it was too late. As the Rain Genin retreated, Team 7 stood victorious, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. Breathing heavily, Naruto looked at his teammates, exhilaration flooding through him. "We did it. We actually won." Sasuke smirked, crossing his arms. "Of course we did. We work well together." Sakura smiled, her chest swelling with pride. "That was amazing. I can't believe how well we coordinated our attacks." As they took a moment to catch their breath, the clearing grew eerily quiet. "We should keep moving," Sasuke urged. "There's no telling if they'll return with reinforcements." Naruto nodded, shaking off the exhilaration. "Right. We need to find those scrolls." Deeper into the forest. As they moved further into the forest, the atmosphere shifted. The air felt heavier, the sounds of wildlife grew muted. They passed through narrow paths and overgrown foliage, the feeling of being watched pressing down on them. "Something doesn't feel right," Sakura murmured, glancing around nervously. Sasuke, his Sharingan activated, scanned the area. "Stay alert. We could be walking into another trap." Suddenly, the ground beneath them began to tremble, and large vines shot up from the earth, ensnaring their feet. "What the?" Naruto exclaimed, trying to break free. Before they could react, a massive serpent emerged from the underbrush, its scales glistening in a dim light. It towered above them, hissing ominously. "This is bad," Sakura cried, her heart racing. "We can't let it catch us," Sasuke shouted, quickly assessing their options. "We need to fight back." Naruto felt the power of Sun Wukong surge within him once more. "Wukong's wrath," he yelled, summoning a burst of energy as he transformed into a clone infused with the Monkey King's essence. As the servant lunged toward them, Naruto charged forward, his clone moving with incredible speed. "Get ready," he shouted to his teammates. Sasuke quickly followed suit, weaving through the serpent's strikes, while Sakura prepared her own jutsu. "Fire style, Phoenix Fire Jutsu," Sasuke called, sending flames toward the creature to distract it. The serpent reared back, hissing in anger. "Foolish children. You'll regret this." With determination in their hearts, Team 7 launched their coordinated assault. Naruto's clone lunged at the serpent, dodging its fangs with agile movements reminiscent of Sun Wukong's style. "I won't let you eat us." Sasuke took advantage of the distraction, launching a series of shuriken at the serpent's eyes. "Focus on the eyes," he yelled, knowing that would give them a better chance of survival. Sakura, gathering her strength, leaped into the air. "This ends now." She aimed her punch at the creature's skull, channeling all her chakra into the blow. As she descended, Naruto's clone struck simultaneously, hitting the serpent's side with a powerful kick. The creature let out a deafening roar as both attacks landed, causing it to writhe in pain. Finally, with one last push, Naruto and his teammates coordinated their final assault. "Wukong's fury!" Naruto shouted, unleashing a barrage of clones, each one striking the serpent relentlessly. With a final cry of defeat, the serpent collapsed, its massive form hitting the ground with a thud. Panting heavily, Team 7 looked at each other, relief washing over them. "We did it," Sakura breathed, still in disbelief. Sasuke smirked, his confidence bolstered. "We are getting stronger with every challenge." Naruto grinned widely. "That was epic. I can't believe we faced a giant snake and won." As they caught their breath, the forest around them seemed to come alive again, the sounds of nature returning. Finding the scrolls. With renewed determination, the trio continued their journey, keeping an eye out for the scrolls they needed. "We should search the area around here," Sasuke suggested. "The serpent may have been guarding something." As they explored, Naruto felt the power of Sun Wukong coursing through him, guiding him toward a clearing nearby. "Over here," he called, rushing ahead. In the center of the clearing lay two scrolls, glimmering under the dappled sunlight. "We found them!" Sakura exclaimed, her voice filled with excitement. As they approached the scrolls, a sense of accomplishment filled their hearts. "This is just the beginning," Sasuke said, taking a scroll. "We need to keep pushing forward." Naruto nodded, clutching his own scroll tightly. "We are going to make it through this together." And with that, Team 7 continued their journey through the forest of death, united and ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. The oppressive air of the forest of death weighed heavily on Team 7 as they made their way back through the dense foliage. With the scrolls in their possession, they had a sense of accomplishment, but their journey was far from over. The sun filtered through the canopy, casting eerie shadows on the ground, and every rustle in the underbrush heightened their senses. "All right, we've got the scrolls. What's next?" Naruto asked, clutching the parchment tightly in his hand, excitement bubbling within him. Sasuke furrowed his brow, contemplating their next move. "We need to find a safe place to regroup and assess what we have. The second stage isn't just about collecting scrolls, we have to prepare for the third stage as well." Sakura nodded, glancing around warily. "Let's find a clearing or somewhere defensible. We can't let our guard down." As they searched for a suitable spot, Naruto felt the familiar power of Sun Wukong stirring within him. It gave him a sense of confidence and alertness, allowing him to detect any signs of danger. "Over there," he pointed excitedly at a small glade that seemed to be clear of any immediate threats. The ground was soft with moss, and a few low branches offered cover. "Good eye, Naruto," Shizuke acknowledged, leading the way as they moved to the glade. Once settled, they unfurled the scrolls to examine their contents. Naruto's scroll contained a variety of jutsu, including transformation techniques and some unique offensive moves. "This is awesome. I can learn so many new tricks," he exclaimed, flitting through the pages eagerly. Shizuke, however, was more focused on strategy. "We'll need to practice these jutsu and find ways to incorporate them into our fighting styles. The next challenge is just around the corner." Sakura glanced over Shizuke's shoulder, reading the instructions for a healing technique. "If we can master these, we'll be much better prepared for whatever is coming next." As they spent time training and strategizing, the atmosphere grew tense. The trees around them swayed slightly, as if whispering secrets to each other, and the distant calls of creatures echoed through the forest. The ambush. Suddenly, the tranquility shattered. A shrill cry pierced the air, followed by a flurry of movement. From the trees emerged a group of genin from the Sound Village, their faces twisted with malice and determination. "Looks like we've found some fresh prey," the leader, a tall boy with dark hair and a twisted smile, sneered at Team 7. Shizuke quickly analyzed the situation. "We can't let them catch us off guard. Get ready." Naruto felt the familiar surge of power from Sun Wukong, igniting his spirit. "Let's show them what we've got." He summoned his shadow clones, flooding the area with a dozen duplicates. The Sound Genin chuckled mockingly. "More clones? How original." As Naruto's clones charged at the enemy, the Sound Genin responded with a barrage of shuriken and kunai. But Naruto was undeterred. "Clones? Take them down." The clones weaved through the projectiles, some falling, but others pressed on. "Shadow Clone Jutsu!" Naruto shouted, summoning even more copies to overwhelm their attackers. Shizuke activated his Sharingan, quickly assessing the abilities of their foes. "We need to take down their leader first," he declared, his eyes scanning the group. Sakura prepared herself, gathering chakra as she moved into position. "I'll provide support." As Naruto engaged with the enemy, the leader of the Sound Genin moved with alarming speed, dodging Naruto's clones and heading straight for Shizuke. "You think you can beat me?" he taunted, lunging at Shizuke with a kunai. Shizuke countered, "I don't think." "I know." He swiftly sidestepped and delivered a kick to the leader's side, sending him sprawling to the ground. A battle of wits. Meanwhile, Naruto continued to fight against the other genin, his clones overwhelming them with sheer numbers. He channeled the strength of Sun Wukong, enhancing his agility and reflexes. "Wukong's power," he yelled, transforming one of his clones into a larger version, striking fear into the hearts of the remaining enemies. The leader recovered quickly, furious at his team's failure to subdue Naruto. "Get up! We can't lose to these weaklings." Sakura, now ready, unleashed her own jutsu. Cherry Blossom Impact. With incredible speed, she rushed toward the nearest Sound Genin, delivering a powerful blow that sent him crashing to the ground. "Don't underestimate us," she shouted, her confidence growing. As the battle raged on, Shizuke found himself engaged with the leader again. The boy was strong, but Shizuke was faster, using his Sharingan to predict his movements. "Fire Style, Phoenix Fire Jutsu." Shizuke unleashed a series of fireballs, forcing the leader to dodge and lose focus. Seeing the opening, Naruto and his clones struck simultaneously, surrounding the leader and closing in. "Now, let's finish this." The Sound Genin leader gritted his teeth, trying to fend off the clones. "You're all nothing. I'll crush you." But his bravado faltered as he was overwhelmed. With a final push, Naruto and his clones slammed into the leader, sending him crashing to the ground. "We won't let you take our scrolls," Naruto shouted triumphantly. The remaining Sound Genin, witnessing their leader's defeat, hesitated. With determination, they began to retreat into the trees, fear etched on their faces. "This isn't over," one of them shouted as they disappeared into the foliage. Panting heavily, Team 7 regrouped, adrenaline coursing through their veins. That was intense. Naruto exclaimed, a wide grin on his face. Did you see how many clones I made? Sasuke smirked, brushing dirt off his clothes. It wasn't bad for a first encounter, but we need to remain vigilant. They might return. Sakura nodded, still catching her breath. We should check their scrolls to see if they have anything useful. As they searched the fallen genin, they found a scroll marked with a Sound Village symbol. This might give us some insights into their tactics, Sasuke suggested. With their victory secured and a new scroll in hand, Team 7 continued their journey through the forest. As they navigated the twisting paths, the atmosphere around them felt charged with anticipation. What's next for us? Naruto pondered, excitement bubbling within him. The third challenge is approaching, Sasuke replied, his tone serious. We need to prepare for whatever comes our way. This forest is full of surprises. As they trekked further into the unknown, Naruto felt the warm presence of Sun Wukong within him, a constant reminder of the strength he possessed. Whatever it is, we'll face it together. With that determination, Team 7 pressed onward, ready to confront the trials that awaited them in the depths of the Forest of Death. The sun began its descent, casting elongated shadows that danced ominously between the towering trees of the Forest of Death. The air felt charged with anticipation as Team 7 pressed onward, the weight of the challenges ahead pressing heavily on their shoulders. Sakura glanced back at the scroll they had obtained from the Sound Genin. We should look through this carefully. There might be information on other teams or traps we should be aware of. Sasuke nodded, keenly aware that knowledge could be just as powerful as jutsu. We can't afford to be caught off guard again. Naruto, feeling the weight of their situation, turned his attention to the scroll. Let's see what we can find. He spread the scroll on the ground, and the trio gathered around it, examining the contents closely. The scroll detailed various strategies used by the Sound Village, including ambush tactics and environmental traps. They are good at exploiting the terrain, Sasuke noted, his eyes narrowing. We need to stay vigilant and watch for hidden mechanisms. Just as they began to feel a sense of security, the ground beneath them shook, and a low rumble filled the air. What was that? Sakura exclaimed, her heart racing. Naruto instinctively summoned a few clones, scanning the surroundings for threats. Stay on guard. It could be anything. From the underbrush, a series of massive roots erupted, snaking toward them like serpents. Get back! Sasuke shouted, pushing Sakura away as he leaped to the side. Naruto's clones charged forward, ready to intercept the roots. Wukong's power, he called, channeling his strength. The clones quickly transformed into larger, more powerful versions, mimicking the agility and strength of the Monkey King. The roots twisted and turned, seeking to ensnare the team. Naruto, using the enhanced strength of his clones, dodged and struck at the roots, causing them to retreat momentarily. We can't let them catch us. Sasuke launched a series of shuriken at the roots, trying to sever their connection to the ground. Focus on cutting them down. Sakura, gathering her chakra, prepared her jutsu. I'll help. She performed a quick series of hand seals, channeling her energy into a concentrated blast. Sakura Blossom Bomb. The technique unleashed a shockwave, dislodging several roots. As the roots retreated, the ground shook again, and from the depths of the forest, a colossal creature emerged, a massive tree-like beast, its eyes glowing with a fierce light. What is that thing? Naruto shouted, taken aback by the creature's size. It must be the guardian of this part of the forest, Sasuke theorized, realizing they had unwittingly provoked a powerful force. We need to deal with it quickly. The creature roared, shaking the ground beneath their feet. Its bark-like skin was tough and gnarled, and it moved with surprising speed despite its size. We can't let it get close. Sakura yelled, readying herself for the fight. Naruto felt the surge of Sun Wukong's power. Let's hit it hard and fast. He launched a barrage of shadow clones, each one rushing toward the beast with the intent to distract it. Sasuke activated his Sharingan, focusing on the creature's movements. In for its eyes. It'll give us a chance to disable it. Sakura nodded, summoning her chakra. I'll target its legs. If we can trip it, we might have a chance. As the clones surrounded the beast, Shizuke and Sakura sprang into action. Shizuke unleashed a fire-style jutsu, aiming a fireball at one of the creature's eyes. Fire-style, fireball jutsu. The blast connected, causing the creature to recoil in pain and enter, its howl echoing through the forest. Strength in unity. Sakura seized the opportunity, channeling her energy into a powerful punch aimed at the creature's legs. Sakura Blossom Impact. The force of her blow struck true, causing the beast to stumble. Now, Naruto? Shizuke shouted, directing his attention toward the creature's exposed flank. With a fierce determination, Naruto channeled the power of Sun Wukong. Wukong's fury? He transformed his most powerful clone into a massive form, charging toward the beast with a ferocious roar. As the beast regained its balance and prepared to retaliate, Naruto's clone struck, slamming into the creature's side with incredible force. The climax of the battle. The creature staggered, and in that moment, the combined efforts of Team 7 began to turn the tide. Now's our chance! Shizuke shouted, rushing in to deliver a series of swift, precise strikes at its exposed roots, aiming to sever its connection to the ground. Sakura followed closely, her fists glowing with chakra as she targeted the creature's other leg. Keep pushing. The creature roared again, thrashing wildly, but Naruto's clone continued to pummel it relentlessly. We're not done yet, he yelled, channeling more energy into his attacks. Finally, with one last surge of strength, Team 7 executed their final strategy. Naruto summoned every remaining clone he had, creating an overwhelming force. Everyone, together? The combined attacks of Shizuke, Sakura, and the countless Narutos slammed into the creature, sending it crashing to the ground with a thunderous boom. As the dust settled, Team 7 stood panting, staring at the massive form of the fallen guardian. Did we really just take that down? Naruto asked, astonished. Shizuke looked around, cautious even in victory. It's over for now, but we need to keep moving. This forest is unpredictable. Sakura took a deep breath, the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. Let's search the area. There might be something valuable left behind. As they cautiously approached the fallen creature, they noticed a faint glow emanating from a hollow in its bark. The hidden treasure. Naruto, curiosity piqued, reached into the hollow, pulling out a small, ornate box. What's this? He wondered aloud, examining the intricate designs etched into the wood. Shizuke peered over his shoulder. Open it. It might be a valuable item. With a nod, Naruto slowly opened the box, revealing a set of shining scrolls nestled inside. Look at these, he exclaimed, excitement bubbling up once more. More scrolls? Sakura asked, leaning closer. What do they contain? As they carefully pulled out the scrolls, Shizuke's eyes widened. These are advanced techniques. We might be able to learn new jutsu from these. A new journey begins. With the newfound treasures in their possession, Team 7 felt invigorated. We need to find a safe spot to study these, Shizuke suggested, his strategic mind already planning their next move. Naruto nodded vigorously. Yeah. I can't wait to see what I can learn. As they made their way deeper into the forest, the sense of unity among the team grew stronger. Each challenge they faced was shaping them into formidable shinobi, honing their skills and pushing their limits. As night fell, the forest took on an ethereal glow, illuminated by the luminescent plants that thrived in the darkness. This place is incredible, Sakura remarked, marveling at the beauty around them. We're lucky to have made it this far, Shizuke replied, glancing back at the fallen guardian, the adrenaline from the battle still pulsing in his veins. Naruto felt a thrill of excitement surging through him. Whatever happens next, we're ready for it. Together. And with that resolve, Team 7 ventured onward, prepared to face whatever challenges awaited them in the heart of the Forest of Death. The darkness of the forest of death enveloped Team 7 as they navigated their way through the winding paths. The air was thick with tension and anticipation, a reminder that every corner could hide danger or opportunity. With the new scrolls they had found, they were eager to learn and grow, but the reality of the forest weighed heavily on their minds. They finally located a small clearing, partially illuminated by the moonlight filtering through the dense canopy above. "This seems like a safe spot to set up camp," Shizuke said, scanning their surroundings for any signs of danger. Sakura nodded, her expression serious. "We should make sure to keep watch during the night. We can't afford to be caught off guard." Naruto, still buzzing with energy, grinned. "I'll take the first watch. I'm ready for anything." He was eager to put the skills he had gained to the test. As they settled down, Shizuke took the opportunity to review the scrolls they had discovered. "Let's see what we're working with here," he said, unrolling one of them and examining the content carefully. Sakura joined him, leaning in to see the intricate seals and techniques described within. "These techniques are advanced. It'll take time to master them." Naruto, meanwhile, had found a scroll detailing some lesser-known techniques, including some of Wukong's tricks. "Check this out. It says I can create illusions," he exclaimed, his eyes lighting up with excitement. Shizuke raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Illusions can be useful, but be careful. They require precise control over chakra." "I can do it," Naruto declared confidently, channeling his energy. He focused, attempting to replicate the illusion technique described in the scroll. As he concentrated, his chakra flared, and for a moment, a shimmering mirage of himself appeared, dancing in place. "Nice work, Naruto." Sakura clapped, impressed. "But can you maintain it?" Naruto grinned, but his concentration slipped. The illusion flickered and faded. Okay. I'll keep practicing." As the night wore on, they took turns keeping watch. Naruto was vigilant, his senses heightened by the power coursing through him. The sounds of the forest were both calming and eerie, the rustling leaves creating a backdrop to his thoughts. In the stillness, he reflected on their journey so far. "We've come a long way, haven't we?" he mused to himself, feeling his swell of pride in what they had accomplished. But soon, doubts crept in. What if they faced an opponent stronger than a guardian? What if they didn't pass the next trial? He shook his head, dispelling the thoughts. "We've got this," he whispered. Shizuke, taking his watch, caught the tail end of Naruto's mutterings. "You're talking to yourself again," he teased, a slight smirk forming on his lips. "No. Just thinking." Naruto shot back, crossing his arms defiantly. Shizuke chuckled softly. "Just focus on a task. If you see anything unusual, let me know." Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the trees, breaking the peaceful night. The ground trembled again, shaking the forest floor. "What was that?" Naruto exclaimed, eyes wide with surprise. Shizuke was instantly alert, his Sharingan flaring to life. "It came from the east. We should check it out." Sakura stood up, her expression serious. "We can't ignore it. It might be another team or something worse." With determination, Team 7 moved stealthily through the underbrush, following the sounds of commotion. As they neared the source, they stumbled upon a chaotic scene of battle was unfolding. In a clearing, two teams of genin were engaged in a fierce skirmish. One team, identifiable by their distinctive headbands, was from the Leaf Village, while the opposing team bore the emblem of the Mist Village. "We need to stay back and assess the situation," Shizuke whispered, analyzing the fight. Naruto, filled with a desire to help, clenched his fists. "But they need assistance. We can't just stand by." Sakura placed a hand on his shoulder, urging him to remain calm. "Let's wait for the right moment. We don't know how strong the Mist Genin are." The fight escalated as one of the Mist Genin unleashed a powerful water jutsu, enveloping the battlefield in a thick mist. The Leaf Genin struggled to navigate through the fog, their movements becoming erratic. They are at a disadvantage, Sasuke observed, worry etching his features. Now's our chance, Naruto declared, his heart racing. We can turn the tide. With a determined nod from Sasuke and Sakura, Team 7 burst into the fray. Let's do this, Naruto shouted, summoning his clones once more as they rushed forward into the mist. The Leaf Genin, surprised by the unexpected reinforcements, quickly realized they had allies. Who are you? One of them yelled, dodging an attack. We're Team 7. We are here to help, Naruto responded, confidence radiating from him. As Naruto's clones began to engage the Mist Genin, Sasuke and Sakura quickly assessed the situation. Sasuke focused on the main attacker, a Mist Genin wielding his sword with deadly precision. I'll take him, he shouted, activating his Sharingan. Sakura, meanwhile, targeted another enemy, gathering her chakra to unleash her own powerful jutsu. Let's go, team, she called, her spirit unwavering. As Naruto's clones pressed the attack, they overwhelmed the Mist Genin, their numbers giving them the upper hand. Sasuke darted in, expertly dodging strikes while delivering swift counter-attacks, his movements precise and calculated. The power of unity. With the tide turning, the Leaf Genin began to fight back alongside Team 7. The combination of their skills created a powerful synergy. Naruto, feeling the power of Sun Wukong surge within him, executed a new illusion technique. Wukong's trickery, he called out, creating duplicates that confused the Mist Genin, making it difficult for them to target any one opponent. Sasuke capitalized on the chaos, delivering his series of powerful blows to the Mist Genin leader, who faltered under the sudden onslaught. This ends now, he declared, channeling his chakra into one final strike that sent the leader crashing to the ground. As the remaining Mist Genin began to retreat, the Leaf Genin approached Team 7, gratitude shining in their eyes. Thank you for your help. We thought we were done for, one of them said, relief washing over him. We couldn't just stand by and watch, Naruto replied, beaming with pride. We're all shinobi. We look out for each other. Sasuke remained vigilant, still scanning the area for any lingering threats. But we should be cautious. There may be more enemies lurking in the shadows. Sakura nodded, feeling the weight of their shared experience. We need to stick together, especially in a place like this. Building trust. As they caught their breath, the Leaf Genin introduced themselves. I'm UI, and this is my team. We're from the Leaf Village too. It's good to see familiar faces. Sasuke studied them carefully. What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working on the exam? UI looked serious. We got separated from our team. We were trying to regroup when we ran into the Mist Genin. Naruto felt a sense of camaraderie building. Let's work together. We can combine our strengths and keep each other safe. The other team members nodded, appreciating Naruto's enthusiasm. Agreed. We can't let this forest break our spirit, UI declared, her determination matching Naruto's. With their new allies, Team 7 felt a renewed sense of purpose. They pooled their knowledge and resources, sharing insights from the scrolls they had found and discussing strategies for the upcoming challenges. Let's stay vigilant, Sasuke reminded them as they set off once more through the forest, the two teams merging into one cohesive unit. Together, we'll make it through, Naruto shouted, leading the way, filled with optimism and the unwavering spirit of Sun Wukong. As the moon rose high in the sky, illuminating the paths ahead, Team 7 and their newfound allies ventured deeper into the forest of death, prepared to face whatever trials awaited them, united by trust and the promise of victory. The combined Team 7 and UI's group moved through the forest of death with a renewed sense of determination. The night air was thick with mystery and tension, the shadows stretching ominously as they ventured deeper into the unknown. Sasuke took the lead, his Sharingan scanning the surroundings for any potential threats. We need to stay alert. The Mist Genin could regroup and come back, he reminded everyone. I've got your back, Naruto declared, his enthusiasm unwavering. With my clones, we can keep watch in all directions. Yui nodded, impressed by Naruto's confidence. That's a good idea. We should set up a perimeter. As they moved cautiously through the forest, Sakura and Yui began to discuss the scrolls they had each found. There's a technique in this scroll that enhances sensory abilities, Yui explained, her voice eager. If we learn it, we can better detect hidden enemies. Let's try to master it together, Sakura suggested. The more of us that can sense danger, the better. As they found a small clearing to rest, Naruto took a moment to catch his breath. I can't believe we're already working with another team. It's kinda exciting. Sasuke rolled his eyes. Just stay focused, Naruto. There's no room for mistakes here. Yui chuckled lightly. Sasuke is right. We can't let our guard down, but it's nice to have more allies. Sakura smiled, feeling a sense of camaraderie forming. Working together gives us a better chance of passing the exam. As they settled in, Naruto felt a moment of connection. You know, I used to think that being a ninja meant being alone, but now I realize how important teamwork is. Yui nodded thoughtfully. That's true. Alone, we're vulnerable, but together, we're strong. Just as they began to relax, a sudden rustle in the trees caught their attention. The sound grew louder, and they quickly assumed defensive positions. What is it? Sasuke whispered, eyes narrowed. Before anyone could respond, a massive creature burst through the underbrush, an enormous boar with thick, armored skin and glowing red eyes. What the hell? Naruto exclaimed, leaping back. It's the guardian beast of the forest. Yui shouted. Stay back. The boar snorted, charging toward them with incredible speed. Sasuke reacted first, launching a volley of shuriken to distract it. Aim for its eyes, he commanded. Naruto, fueled by adrenaline and the spirit of Sun Wukong, summoned a dozen clones. Let's show this thing what we're made of. The clones rushed forward, leaping to either side of the boar, attempting to flank it. Sakura readied her own attack, gathering chakra into her fists. I'll help take it down. As the boar charged, Yui shouted instructions to her teammates. Spread out. We can't let it corner us. The clones began to circle the boar, throwing shuriken and distracting it from all angles. Naruto then called out, Wukong's trickery, creating an illusion that made it appear as if there were twice as many clones attacking from every direction. Sasuke seized the moment, darting in close with his Sharingan activated. Now, he shouted, delivering a swift kick to the boar's side. The creature howled, turning its attention towards Sasuke, but in doing so, it exposed its flank to Sakura, who charged in with a powerful punch. Sakura Blossom Strike, she shouted, landing a hit that sent the boar staggering. Yui joined in, unleashing a series of water jutsu to slow the beast down. Water style, water bullets. She launched a barrage of water projectiles, striking the boar and forcing it to stumble. The combined assault began to wear down the beast. Naruto, filled with determination, called upon the power of Sun Wukong once more. Let's finish this, he shouted, leaping onto the boar's back. Naruto, be careful. Sakura warned, but it was too late. With a powerful twist of his body, Naruto focused his chakra into a single blow. Wukong's fury. He unleashed a devastating strike down onto the beast's neck, knocking it to the ground with a loud crash. The boar let out a final roar before collapsing, defeated. As silence fell over the clearing, Team 7 and Yui's team stood panting, trying to comprehend what had just happened. That was intense. Naruto exclaimed, his heart racing with exhilaration. We did it. Sasuke nodded, though he kept an eye out for any further threats. It's important to remember that not every creature will back down. We should be cautious. Yui approached the fallen boar, examining its massive form. We need to keep moving. We don't want to attract more unwanted attention. Sakura took a deep breath, feeling a sense of achievement. We worked well together. That gives me hope for the rest of the exam. With the boar defeated, the group pressed on, discussing their plans as they traveled deeper into the heart of the forest. Let's focus on mastering the sensory technique, Yui suggested. If we can detect enemies before they get too close, we'll have the upper hand. Naruto nodded eagerly. And I can work on my illusions. Together, we'll be unstoppable. As they practiced their techniques, the bond between the two teens grew stronger. They shared stories of their training and experiences, each tale bringing them closer together. Eventually, they reached a clearing that felt different from the rest. The air was thick with chakra, pulsating with energy. Ancient trees surrounded them, their trunks wide and twisted, each one exuding an aura of strength. This place feels sacred, Sakura remarked, sensing the weight of history and power. Sasuke's eyes widened as he sensed the chakra resonating within the clearing. I have never felt anything like this. We should be careful. What do you think is here? Yui asked, stepping cautiously forward. As they explored the clearing, they discovered an enormous stone pedestal at the center, covered in intricate markings and symbols. This must be a place of power, Naruto said, feeling drawn to the pedestal. Maybe it holds secrets of the forest. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and a voice echoed through the clearing. Who dares to disturb the heart of the forest? The group froze, fear coursing through them as they turned to face the source of the voice. Show yourselves, the voice demanded, resonating through the trees. From the shadows emerged a figure, a majestic being resembling a mix of man and beast, with eyes that glimmered like stars. I am the guardian of the forest, the figure proclaimed, its voice both gentle and commanding. You have proven your strength, but tell me, why have you come to this sacred place? Naruto stepped forward, fueled by the spirit of Sun Wukong. We're here for the chunin exams. We want to prove ourselves and protect our village. The guardian regarded them with a critical gaze. Many come seeking power, but few come with pure intentions. Your hearts will be tested. Sasuke, ever wary, crossed his arms. What do you mean by hearts will be tested? To proceed, you must face a trial of trust, the guardian explained. Only those who can work together and trust one another will earn the right to claim the forest's power. Yui exchanged glances with her teammates, anxiety creeping into her expression. What kind of trial? The guardian waved a hand, and the markings on the pedestal began to glow, illuminating the clearing. You must enter the realm of shadows and confront your deepest fears. Only then will you find the strength to trust each other. Naruto felt a rush of determination surge through him. We can do this. We've already faced so much together. Sakura nodded, her voice steady. We've come this far. There's no turning back. Sasuke glanced at his teammates, and after a moment, he nodded. We'll face this trial together. We're stronger as a team. The guardian stepped aside, revealing a shimmering portal that glowed with ethereal light. Step forward and enter the realm. Trust one another, and you may just succeed. With a resolute breath, Team 7 and Yui's group stepped toward the portal, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the shadows. As Team 7 and Yui's group stepped into the shimmering portal, a rush of energy enveloped them. The world around them twisted and shifted, colors blending into a vortex of light. Then, just as suddenly, everything went dark. Entering the realm of shadows, they found themselves standing in a vast, mist-covered landscape. The air felt heavy, charged with a strange energy that sent shivers down their spines. Dark shapes loomed in the distance, flickering like shadows in a fog. Where are we? Sakura asked, glancing around uneasily. This must be the realm of shadows, Sasuke replied, his Sharingan activated as he scanned their surroundings. Stay alert. We don't know what to expect. Naruto clenched his fists, determination flashing in his eyes. Whatever it is, we can handle it together. Yui took a deep breath, trying to steady her nerves. Right. We just need to trust one another and keep moving. The first trial, confronting fears. Suddenly, a chilling laugh echoed through the mist, causing everyone to freeze. From the shadows emerged dark versions of themselves, twisted reflections that mimic their worst fears and insecurities. The Shizuke doppelganger sneered. You think you're strong? You're just a weakling hiding behind your friends. Sakura's heart raced as her own shadowy double stepped forward, whispering, You're not a true kunoichi. You're just in the way. Naruto gritted his teeth as he faced his dark self, who laughed mockingly. You'll never be recognized as a hero. You're just a Nine-Tails host. Fighting back. Shizuke stepped forward, ready to confront his shadow. Shut up. I'm not afraid of you. He charged at his doppelganger, unleashing a series of shuriken. As they clashed, the shadow of Shizuke fought back with equal ferocity, the two mirroring each other's moves. You think you can escape your past, the shadow hissed. You'll always be alone. Sakura, feeling overwhelmed, clenched her fists. No. I'm not alone. She charged forward, determined to prove her worth. I'm part of Team 7. With renewed confidence, she delivered a powerful punch that shattered her dark self into shards of shadow, each fragment dissolving into the mist. Supporting each other. Naruto watched, inspired by Sakura's determination. If she can do it, so can I. He focused on his own shadow, channeling the power of Sun Wukong. You don't defy me? He leaped forward, using his newfound abilities to create clones that surrounded the dark Naruto. Wukong's trickery, he shouted, launching an array of illusions that disoriented the shadow. As the illusions danced around, Naruto seized the moment. You're just a part of me. You don't control me. With a powerful kick, he shattered a shadow, feeling a sense of liberation wash over him. Unleashing their strength. Shizuke and Sakura quickly dispatched their dark counterparts, joining Naruto as they stood together, breathing heavily but triumphant. We did it. Sakura exclaimed, relief flooding through her. But what's next? The mist around them began to dissipate, revealing a new path ahead. Yui looked around, her expression thoughtful. This must be a sign that we're moving in the right direction. As they proceeded, they noticed the landscape shifting again. The shadows grew longer, and a sense of foreboding filled the air. The second trial, temptation of power. Suddenly, they entered a large cavern, the walls shimmering with an otherworldly light. At the center stood an ancient pedestal, adorned with jewels that sparkled like stars. What is this place? Naruto asked, eyes wide with wonder. Yui stepped forward cautiously. I think it's a place of power. But look at the jewels, they might tempt us. Just as she spoke, a voice echoed through the chamber, seductive and alluring. Seek power, and all your desires can be fulfilled. Why struggle when you can have everything you've ever wanted? Shizuke frowned, instinctively sensing the danger. Don't listen to it. It's a trap. Facing the temptation. The jewels seemed to pulse with energy, each one whispering promises of strength and recognition. Naruto felt a pull, a desire to reach for them, to prove he was worthy of being a hero. But what about our goals? He whispered, wrestling with the temptation. We want to become stronger, not just for ourselves but for each other. Sakura, feeling the weight of the voice's allure, stepped forward. We can't let our desires cloud our judgment. We have to stay true to who we are. Right. Yui added, determination shining in her eyes. We're not here to take shortcuts. We're here to grow together. Breaking the illusion. The shadows began to swirl, attempting to envelop them. The voices grew louder, but Naruto clenched his fists. No. We won't be swayed. Shizuke focused his chakra, channeling it into a powerful technique. Fire style, fireball jutsu. He unleashed a blazing fireball that ignited the shadows, breaking the illusion and illuminating the chamber. The jewels dimmed as the chamber shook violently. You fools, the voice screamed, the shadows dissipating into nothingness. With the pedestal now empty, the group felt a rush of relief. They had faced the temptation and emerged victorious. A new resolve. As they regained their bearings, The path forward opened up, revealing a serene landscape filled with vibrant colors and soft light. We did it, Sakura breathed, feeling a newfound sense of accomplishment. We faced our fears and resisted the temptation of power. Naruto smiled brightly. We are stronger together. Nothing can break our bonds. Yui nodded, her heart swelling with pride. Let's keep moving. I believe we're getting closer to the heart of this realm. The final trial, the Guardians' Challenge. As they continued, the atmosphere shifted once more. The air thickened, and the landscape transformed into a daunting arena, surrounded by ancient stone walls. At the center stood the guardian of the forest, its eyes glowing with a mixture of wisdom and strength. You have passed the first 2 trials, it proclaimed. But now, you must face the greatest challenge of all, the trial of trust. What does that entail? Sasuke asked, his expression serious. You must demonstrate your unwavering trust in one another, the guardian explained. Only by working together as one will you succeed. The challenge unfolds. The guardian gestured, and a series of obstacles materialized. Massive boulders, treacherous gaps, and swirling torrents of water filled the arena. You must navigate this course as a team, the guardian instructed. But there's a twist, you will be blindfolded. Blindfolded? Sakura exclaimed, her heart racing. How are we supposed to do that? You must rely on each other's voices and instincts, the guardian explained. Trust in your bonds to guide you through. Preparation for the challenge. The group exchanged determined glances, understanding the significance of the challenge ahead. We can do this, Naruto declared, a fire igniting within him. We've faced challenges before. This is just another step. Sasuke nodded. Let's not overthink it. We just need to trust each other. Yui smiled, feeling the weight of their camaraderie. Together, we can achieve anything. With a deep breath, they each tied blindfolds over their eyes, the world around them fading to darkness. Moving forward together. Remember, listen to my voice. Naruto called out, feeling the energy of his teammates beside him. Stay close, Sasuke advised, guiding them carefully through the obstacles. Watch for the gaps. As they navigated the course, they relied on their senses, hearing each other's voices guiding them. They stumbled, but they always caught each other, strengthening their bonds with every misstep. Right here. Step forward. Sakura encouraged, her voice unwavering. I've got you. Yui added, her heart racing as they moved as one. The final stretch. With each challenge, they grew more in sync. The obstacles became less daunting as they learned to trust not only in themselves but in each other. We're almost there? Naruto shouted, adrenaline surging through him. Just a little further? Sasuke urged, pushing forward with determination. Finally, they felt the ground beneath their feet shift, and the guardian's voice echoed around them. You have demonstrated true trust. Now, open your eyes. A new beginning. As they removed their blindfolds, they found themselves back in a clearing, the guardian standing before them, a proud expression on its face. You have passed a trial, the guardian proclaimed. You have proven that the bonds of trust are stronger than any individual desire for power. Naruto grinned widely, adrenaline still coursing through him. We did it. Together. This will make us even stronger in the exam, Yui said, her heart swelling with pride for her team. The guardian raised a hand, and a wave of energy flowed through the clearing, filling them with newfound strength. Take this power with you as you continue your journey. Remember that the heart of a true ninja lies in their bonds. With renewed confidence, Team 7 and Yui's group exchanged smiles, ready to face whatever awaited them in chunin exams. The newfound strength surged through Team 7 and Yui's group, invigorating their spirits as they stepped back into the vibrant world of the Forest of Death. The colors seemed more vivid, the air charged with the promise of their victory over the trials. Regaining their footing. I can't believe we actually made it through. Naruto exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with excitement. We're so much stronger now. Sakura smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment. We've learned to trust each other more than ever. I think we can tackle anything now. Yui nodded in agreement. This bond we've formed is invaluable. It'll help us in the upcoming exam. Suzuki remained focused, his expression serious. Let's not get too complacent. We still need to prepare for the final stage of the exams. Setting up camp. With the trials behind them, the group decided to set up a temporary camp to rest and strategize. They found a small clearing, surrounded by towering trees that offered shelter. As they settled in, Naruto took the lead in organizing their supplies. I'll handle the cooking. I've got a few new recipes to try. Suzuki raised an eyebrow, skeptical but amused. As long as it's edible. Sakura rolled her eyes playfully. Let's not forget what happened last time, Naruto. Yui chuckled. I'll help. We need to make sure everyone has enough energy for the next round. A night of stories. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow across the clearing, the group gathered around a small fire. The atmosphere was relaxed, laughter filling the air as they shared stories of their training and past missions. I remember my first mission, Yui started, her eyes shining with nostalgia. I was so nervous I almost tripped over my own feet when we encountered the enemy. I can relate. Sakura chimed in. During my first Siret mission, I nearly froze when I saw a wild boar charging at us. Naruto laughed, recalling his own blunders. You think that's bad? I once accidentally set my own hair on fire during a training session. Suzuki smirked, shaking his head. You're lucky it was just your hair? As they shared their stories, the bonds between them deepened, each laugh and confession reinforcing their teamwork. A moment of reflection. Once the laughter subsided, Yui looked thoughtful. What do you all think we'll face in the final rounds of the chunin exams? Suzuki's expression grew serious again. The competition will be fierce. We'll face teams that are prepared for anything. But we've proven ourselves in the trials, Sakura reminded him. We can handle whatever comes our way. Naruto nodded, determination blazing in his eyes. Yeah. With our trust and teamwork, we can overcome any challenge. Just then, the sound of rustling leaves caught their attention. The group turned as a familiar figure emerged from the shadows. Kakashi. Hey, take, there's sensei. The arrival of Kakashi. I see you've made it back in one piece, Kakashi said, his usual lazy demeanor brightened by a rare smile. I had my doubts, but it seems you've grown stronger. Naruto jumped up excitedly. Kakashi-sensei. We just finished the trials, and it was amazing. We worked together and everything. Kakashi nodded, impressed. That's exactly what I wanted to see. The strength of a team lies in their bonds, after all. Yui chimed in. We learned that trusting each other is key to overcoming our fears. Good, Kakashi replied, his tone more serious. You'll need that trust in the upcoming battles. The final stage of the chunin exams will test you like never before. Preparing for the final round. Kakashi sat down with them, sharing insights about the exam and what they could expect. The final rounds will be a mix of strategy, combat, and teamwork. You'll face skilled opponents, some of whom might have abilities you've never seen before. Like who? Naruto asked, curiosity piqued. Teams from other villages, such as the Sen and the Sound, have been known for their cunning tactics and powerful jutsu, Kakashi explained. Be prepared for anything. Suzuki narrowed his eyes. I'm ready. I want to test my strength against the best. Kakashi smiled beneath his mask. That's the spirit. Just remember, it's not just about individual strength. You'll need to work together to succeed. Training under the stars. After their discussion, the group decided to utilize the night to train further. The clearing transformed into an impromptu training ground, with the moon illuminating their efforts. Let's practice some of the techniques we found in the scrolls, Yui suggested, pulling out her scroll. Suzuki nodded, eager to hone his skills. We can focus on a sensory technique and how to coordinate our attacks. As they trained, they grew more synchronized, their movements fluid and instinctual. Naruto utilized his clones to practice various jutsu, while Sakura worked on perfecting her punches and kicks. A special training session. Kakashi observed their training, occasionally stepping in to provide guidance. Remember to stay focused. Use your surroundings to your advantage. At one point, he demonstrated a technique, weaving through the trees with exceptional speed. This is how you can use the environment to confuse your opponents. Naruto's eyes lit up. That's so cool. I want to learn that. Kakashi chuckled. It takes practice, but I believe you can do it. Just keep at it. As the hours passed, the group pushed each other to improve, their camaraderie shining through every punch and jutsu. The bond strengthens. By the time dawn began to break, the exhaustion in their muscles was overshadowed by the sense of accomplishment they felt. They had trained hard, pushed each other's limits, and most importantly, grown closer as a team. I feel ready for whatever comes next, Sakura said, wiping sweat from her brow. Same here, Naruto replied, energy surging through him. Let's give it our all in the final rounds. Sasuke nodded in agreement. We won't let our village down. As they shared a moment of unity, the sun began to rise, casting golden rays across the forest. The calm before the storm. However, unbeknownst to them, a storm was brewing in the distance. Dark clouds gathered on the horizon, and the winds shifted ominously. As the group gathered their supplies and prepared to leave their campsite, Yui noticed the change in the atmosphere. Does anyone else feel that? Sasuke glanced up, sensing the shifting energy. Something's not right. Before they could investigate further, the ground trembled slightly, sending vibrations through the clearing. What was that? Naruto exclaimed, alarmed. Kakashi remained calm, his expression serious. It's time to move. We need to get back to the exam site and be ready for anything. A new challenge awaits. As they made their way through the forest, the sense of unease lingered in the air. The camaraderie they had built now felt even more crucial as they prepared to face the challenges that awaited them. The final rounds of the chunin exams were not just a test of their strength, but a trial that would determine the bonds they had forged. With determination coursing through their veins, Team 7 and UI's group pressed forward, ready to confront whatever storms lay ahead. As Team 7 and UI's group moved swiftly through the forest, the sense of urgency increased with each step. The tension in the air thickened, and dark clouds loomed ominously on the horizon, casting shadows over their path. Approaching the exam site, the group navigated through the dense trees, their instincts heightened by the strange atmosphere. Kakashi led the way, occasionally glancing back to ensure everyone was still together. We should be nearing the exam site soon, Kakashi stated, his tone steady despite a brewing storm. Naruto's brow furrowed with concern. Do you think it'll rain? It feels like a bad omen. Sasuke, his senses attuned, replied, it's not just the weather. There's something off. I can feel it. Yui looked around, her heart racing. What do you think it could be? Do you think the other teams are feeling it too? Whatever it is, we need to stay focused, Sakura reassured them. We can't let fear distract us from the exam. The calm before the storm. As they reached the edge of the forest, the expansive clearing of the exam site came into view. The atmosphere felt charged, and a sense of anticipation hung in the air. The vast arena was surrounded by towering cliffs, and various teams had already gathered, their chatter blending with the rustling of leaves. However, the mood was notably tense, the shadow of the incoming storm loomed over them all. Kakashi scanned the area, spotting familiar faces among the participants. Let's find a good spot to regroup and strategize, he suggested. They moved to a quieter section of the arena, away from the hustle and bustle. Preparing for the final rounds. Once settled, the group began discussing their strategy for the final rounds. We should gather information on the other teams, Yui proposed. We need to know their strengths and weaknesses. Sasuke nodded in agreement. We'll need to be prepared for anything. Team 10 and the Sand siblings will be our main competitors. Don't forget about Team Sound, Sakura added, a serious expression on her face. They have a reputation for being ruthless. Naruto clenched his fists, determination shining in his eyes. We'll take them all on. I won't let anything stop us. A sudden announcement. Just then, a loud voice echoed throughout the arena, silencing the conversations. Attention, all participants. The announcer called. The final rounds of the chunin exams will begin shortly. Gather at the center of the arena for the opening ceremony. The team exchanged glances, a mix of excitement and apprehension coursing through them. It's time, Kakashi said, his tone serious yet encouraging. Remember what we've trained for. Trust in each other, and you'll do fine. As they made their way toward the center, Naruto couldn't shake off the feeling of unease that settled in his stomach. The clouds above darkened, and the wind picked up, rustling the leaves ominously. The opening ceremony. Upon arriving at the center of the arena, they saw a large crowd of spectators gathered, including various jonin and dignitaries from different villages. The announcer, a tall man with a booming voice, stood before them, holding a scroll. Welcome to the final rounds of the chunin exams. Today, we will witness the skills, strategies, and bonds of our young ninjas. The crowd erupted into cheers, their enthusiasm resonating in the air. However, the atmosphere felt charged, as if the storm brewing above was not just a meteorological phenomenon but a harbinger of something greater. A fateful encounter. As the announcer continued, Naruto noticed a familiar figure standing near the front of the crowd. His heart skipped a beat. Sakura. Isn't that? He began, pointing toward the figure. It's Gaara, Sakura confirmed, her voice low. He looks serious. The red-haired boy stood with an aura of intensity, his eyes scanning the arena, seemingly unfazed by the storm above. He's strong, Sasuke noted, a hint of admiration in his voice. We need to be careful. I looked around, sensing the shifting energy among the gathered teams. There's tension in the air. Something doesn't feel right. The warning. As the announcer finished his speech, the wind howled, and dark clouds rolled in closer. Suddenly, a figure appeared on the cliffside, a tall man cloaked in darkness, his presence sending a chill through the crowd. What is that? Naruto exclaimed, pointing upward. The man raised his hand, a powerful aura emanating from him. Foolish children. You think you can become chunin? You have no idea what's coming. The crowd gasped, murmurs of fear spreading like wildfire. Who is he? Sakura asked, her eyes wide. I don't know, Sasuke replied, his instincts alerting him to the danger. But we need to be ready for anything. The storm breaks. Without warning, lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating the arena in blinding light. The figure on the cliff laughed, a sinister sound that echoed ominously. You will all witness the true power of the shadows. The storm will cleanse this world of your pathetic dreams. As thunder roared overhead, the ground shook violently, and chaos erupted among the spectators. Everyone, stay calm. Kakashi shouted, attempting to maintain order. We need to evacuate the area. A call to arms. Amidst the chaos, Naruto felt the weight of the moment settle on his shoulders. We can't just stand here. We have to protect everyone. Sasuke nodded, determination in his eyes. We'll confront him together. Yui's heart raced, but she felt empowered by the bonds they had forged. Let's show him what we're made of. As they stood their ground, ready to face whatever lay ahead, the storm broke in full force, and the dark figure vanished into the shadows. The fight begins. With the crowd in panic and the arena descending into chaos, the final rounds of the chunin exams had transformed into a battleground. We'll need to regroup, Kakashi urged, pushing the team to the forefront. We must protect the civilians and the other competitors. Naruto stepped forward, his fists clenched, radiating the energy of Sun Wukong. Let's show them that we won't back down. The storm raged around them, but within their hearts burned the flame of determination, a promise to protect their village and each other, no matter the cost. As the storm unleashed its fury, torrents of rain cascaded down, turning the arena into a muddy battleground. Thunder rumbled like an angry beast, mirroring the chaos that erupted among the gathered ninjas and spectators. A call to action. Naruto, fueled by the power of Sun Wukong, took a deep breath. We can't let fear control us. We need to protect everyone. Kakashi's voice cut through the cacophony, sharp and commanding. Team, listen up. We'll divide into 2 groups, one to safeguard the civilians and the other to confront that figure. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. I'll handle the figure. I want to know who he is and what he wants. Yui stepped forward, resolve shining in her eyes. I'll go with you, Sasuke. I want to fight. No. Sakura insisted. You two should focus on the civilians. Naruto and I can handle the fight. Dividing the teams. Kakashi quickly assessed the situation, his mind racing. All right, we'll split into pairs. Sasuke and Yui will protect the civilians, while Naruto and Sakura confront the threat. Naruto nodded vigorously, feeling the rush of adrenaline coursing through him. Let's go. As the team split, they exchanged determined glances, each understanding the importance of their roles in this unexpected battle. Confronting the darkness. Naruto and Sakura moved toward the center of the arena, where the dark figure had last been seen. The storm raged, obscuring their visibility, but Naruto could feel the energy pulsing in the air. Do you think he'll show himself again? Sakura asked, her voice strained over the sound of the storm. He has to, Naruto replied, determination surging within him. We'll make him regret underestimating us. Just then, the dark figure reappeared, standing atop a nearby cliff. His silhouette was menacing against the stormy sky, and his voice boomed, carrying over the howling wind. You think you can challenge me? Pathetic children, he mocked, his eyes gleaming with malice. Your dreams will be crushed beneath the weight of despair? Rallying their strength. Sakura clenched her fists, her resolve unwavering. We won't let you do that. We're here to protect our village. Naruto stepped forward, his stance firm. Yeah. We've trained hard for this, and we're not afraid of you. The figure's laughter echoed ominously. Brave words, but they will be your downfall. Suddenly, he raised his hand, and a dark energy surged toward them, creating a swirling vortex of shadow. A clash of powers. Watch out! Naruto shouted, activating his chakra. Drawing on the power of Sun Wukong, he summoned multiple clones to stand by his side. Let's show him what we can do. Sakura shouted, forming the hand seals for her signature jutsu. Cherry Blossom Impact. With a swift movement, she unleashed a wave of pink petals, creating a barrier against the approaching darkness. The petals clashed with the vortex, momentarily illuminating the dark arena. The true power revealed. The figure scowled, his expression darkening. Is that the best you can do? Allow me to demonstrate true power. He extended his hands, channeling the dark energy into a massive orb. The shadows twisted and coiled around him like serpents, preparing to strike. Naruto, now! Sakura yelled, sensing the impending danger. Right. He focused, channeling the energy of Sun Wukong, his body glowing with golden light. Raise Nan. He launched the swirling sphere of chakra toward the figure. A battle of will. The two energies collided with a deafening boom, the force of the explosion sending shockwaves through the arena. The ground trembled, and debris flew everywhere as the dark figure was pushed back, momentarily caught off guard. You think you can defeat me with mere jutsu? He roared, recovering quickly. I will show you the darkness. We're not done yet. Naruto shouted, summoning more clones to increase his power. Let's go, Sakura. Sakura nodded, determination burning in her eyes. Let's finish this. Teamwork in action. Together, they charged at the figure, dodging the shards of darkness that flew toward them. Naruto used his clones to distract the figure while Sakura prepared her next move. "I'll create an opening," Naruto shouted, throwing his clones at the figure. "Sakura, now's your chance." As the clones surrounded the figure, Sakura channeled her chakra into her fist. "I'll end this." Inner Sakura. With a burst of power, she charged forward, ready to land a decisive blow. The figure, momentarily blinded by the onslaught, didn't see Sakura coming. "Cherry Blossom Strike," she shouted, her fist glowing with pink energy as she connected with the figure, sending him crashing to the ground. The final stand. The figure staggered, pain flickering across his face. "You fools! You think you can stop me?" he growled, gathering his strength for one last attack. Naruto felt the power of Sun Wukong surging within him. "We can. Together." With a fierce determination, he raised his hand, summoning the energy of the storm around him. Raisin Shuriken. He launched the technique with all his might, sending it hurtling toward the figure. As the Raisin Shuriken connected, a blinding explosion erupted, engulfing the dark figure in a whirlwind of energy and light. The storm raged on, but within that chaos, a new dawn began to emerge. Aftermath of the battle. As the dust settled, Naruto and Sakura stood firm, breathing heavily. The figure was nowhere to be seen, and the tension in the air began to lift. Did we win?" Sakura asked, disbelief creeping into her voice. Naruto looked around, a smile breaking across his face. "I think we did. We showed him the strength of our bonds." Just then, Kakashi appeared, a proud expression on his face. "Excellent work, you two. You held your ground against a formidable opponent." "What happened to that guy?" Naruto questioned, scanning the area. "He underestimated you," Kakashi replied, his tone serious. "And now he knows the true power of teamwork." Reuniting with the others. As the arena began to calm, Sasuke and Ui joined them, looking relieved. "We managed to protect the civilians," Ui said, her eyes shining with determination. "What happened here?" Sasuke's expression was grave. "We encountered a dark figure who threatened the exam. But we took him down," Naruto exclaimed, a sense of triumph in his voice. Ui grinned, her spirit lifted. "You did it. I knew you would." The gathering clouds. However, as they celebrated their victory, the dark clouds above began to churn ominously. The storm was far from over. Kakashi frowned, his gaze fixed on the sky. "We need to be prepared." This was just the beginning. Naruto's expression turned serious as he glanced at the storm. "Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." With their bonds strengthened and the threat still looming, Team 7 and Ui's group stood united, ready to confront the challenges that lay ahead. As the remnants of the storm began to dissipate, a strange stillness enveloped the arena. The air, thick with tension, carried the whispers of uncertainty, as if the world itself was holding its breath in anticipation of what was to come. Aftermath and reflection. Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, and Ui gathered at the center of the arena, the reality of their victory slowly settling in. While they had triumphed against the dark figure, the unsettling feeling in their hearts suggested that the battle was far from over. "What just happened?" Ui asked, her voice trembling slightly as she looked around at the debris scattered across the arena. "Do you think he'll come back?" Kakashi stepped forward, his expression serious. "It's likely." That figure seemed powerful, and the storm felt like it was connected to something larger. Sasuke crossed his arms, his mind racing with the implications. "We need to be ready. If he returns, we have to ensure we are stronger than before." Sakura nodded, her determination rekindled. "We've faced danger before, but this felt different. Like there's something sinister lurking in the shadows." Gathering intelligence. Kakashi motioned for the group to regroup and gather information. "Let's see what the other teams experienced. There may be clues about the figure's intentions." As they made their way through the arena, they encountered various teams discussing their experiences. Some looked shaken, recounting their own close calls, while others seemed unfazed, eager for the next challenge. Naruto approached Team 10, where Shikamaru was deep in conversation with Ino and Koji. "Hey. What did you guys see?" "We saw the same figure," Shikamaru said, his brow furrowed in thought. "But we couldn't get close. It was like he was controlling the storm." Ino chimed in. It felt like he was drawing power from the darkness around him. "We barely escaped." "This isn't over," Koji added, his expression serious. "We have to stick together. Whatever he wants, it's not good." A sense of urgency. As they shared information, a sense of urgency grew among the groups. The exam, which had initially felt like a test of skill and teamwork, had now transformed into something much darker. "We need to prepare for anything," Naruto said, determination burning in his eyes. "We can't let him ruin this for us." Sasuke nodded in agreement. "We should train together. If that figure comes back, we need to be stronger." Yui's expression brightened at the thought. "Yes. We can combine our techniques and develop new strategies." Training begins. That evening, as the sun began to set and the storm clouds receded, the teams gathered in a secluded area to begin their training. Kakashi stood before them, a serious expression on his face. "We'll focus on enhancing your teamwork and individual abilities. We can't afford to lose focus now." Naruto felt the familiar surge of energy within him as he channeled the power of Sun Wukong. "Let's do this. I'll push myself to the limit." Sasuke smirked, his competitive spirit ignited. "You better keep up, Naruto." "I will." Naruto exclaimed, determination radiating from him. Strategic training. As the training progressed, the group focused on honing their skills and strategies. They practiced coordination between techniques, aiming to combine their strengths in a way that would overwhelm their opponents. Yui and Sakura worked together on a new jutsu, merging their chakra to create a powerful healing technique that could also boost their allies' energy. "We should make this our secret weapon," Yui said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Exactly. If we are injured during a battle, this will give us an edge," Sakura replied, determination evident in her voice. Sasuke trained diligently with Naruto, pushing each other to their limits. "I want to see how much of your power you can tap into," Sasuke challenged, smirking as they squared off. Naruto grinned, feeling the adrenaline rush. "You're on." The unexpected encounter. Just as they were getting into the rhythm of their training, a familiar figure emerged from the shadows. Hinata, looking concerned but determined. "And Naruto. I heard about the attack. Are you okay?" she asked, her voice soft yet filled with worry. Naruto smiled at her, feeling warmth spread through him. "I'm fine, Hinata. Thanks for checking on me." "You shouldn't push yourself too hard," Hinata advised, her brow furrowing. "There's still a chance that the figure might return." Kakashi approached, his expression calm yet serious. "Hinata, would you like to join our training? We could use your Byakugan to spot any incoming threats. Strengthening bonds." Hinata nodded, grateful for the opportunity to contribute. "I'd love to help." As they trained together, Naruto felt a renewed sense of purpose. The bonds they were forging, the trust they were building, it made him stronger. He remembered the teachings of Sun Wukong, the importance of teamwork and camaraderie. "We are not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for each other," Naruto declared, rallying the group. "Together, we can overcome anything." As they pushed through their training, the air around them felt charged with energy. The storm may have faded, but the echoes of darkness still loomed overhead. A warning from the shadows. Later that night, as the moon illuminated the training grounds, an eerie silence settled. The stars twinkled faintly, but an unsettling feeling crept into their hearts. Suddenly, a chilling wind swept through the clearing, and a figure cloaked in shadows appeared before them, its eyes glowing ominously. "You think you can prepare for what's to come?" the figure hissed, its voice a chilling whisper. "This is only the beginning." Facing the darkness. Naruto and the others instinctively moved closer together, ready to face this new threat. Who are you? Naruto demanded, his heart racing but his resolve unwavering. I am but a harbinger of the chaos that will soon engulf this world, the figure replied, a sinister grin spreading across his face. You cannot hope to stop what is destined to come. As the figure faded into the shadows, leaving behind an aura of dread, Naruto felt a surge of determination wash over him. We'll find a way to stop you, he vowed, the power of Sun Wukong surging within him. No matter what it takes. Preparing for the storm. With the threat looming closer than ever, Team 7 and their allies understood that they were at a crossroads. The challenges ahead would test their bonds and resolve like never before. Kakashi gathered a group, his expression serious yet supportive. Tomorrow, we'll face whatever comes our way together. Remember, you are not alone. As the moon shone brightly above them, Naruto felt the warmth of his friends by his side, and he knew they would fight together, no matter what darkness lay ahead. As dawn broke over the Hidden Leaf Village, a sense of urgency hung in the air. The knight's ominous warning still echoed in Naruto's mind, filling him with determination. The time had come to prepare for the inevitable confrontation with the dark forces looming on the horizon. The calm before the storm. The village was alive with activity. Ninja were training, merchants were setting up their stalls, and children played in the streets, blissfully unaware of the darkness that threatened their peace. Yet, in the hearts of Team 7 and their allies, a tension simmered just beneath the surface. We need to gather more information, Kakashi said, addressing the group as they met in a secluded area near the village. We can fight what we don't understand. Naruto nodded, his brows furrowing with determination. I'll go find some of the older shinobi. They might have heard something. Sakura stepped forward, her expression resolute. I'll check with the medical team. They might have been sights on any injuries from the dark figure's attack. I'll help Sakura, Yui offered, her spirit undaunted. Two heads are better than one. Sasuke crossed his arms, a thoughtful look on his face. I'll scout the perimeter of the village. If the figure shows up again, I want to know where it's coming from. Divided paths. With their roles assigned, the group split up. Naruto felt a surge of excitement as he set off toward the Hokage office, eager to find out what the higher UPS knew. As he approached the office, he spotted several UMBU members gathered outside, their faces serious and stoic. The weight of their presence made him pause for a moment. Hey! What's going on? He called out, his curiosity piqued. One of the UMBU turned to him, a mask covering his features. You shouldn't be here, Naruto. This is a restricted area. But I need to know. We just faced a dark figure in the arena, and we need to prepare. Naruto insisted, determination blazing in his eyes. The UMBU exchanged glances, and after a moment, the same ninja spoke again. Fine. But only because you're one of the villagers. We are currently assessing the situation and gathering intel. Be cautious, the darkness is spreading. Inside the Hokage's office. Naruto entered the Hokage's office, finding Tsunade deep in discussion with Shizune and several other shinobi. The atmosphere was tense, and as soon as she spotted Naruto, Tsunade's expression softened slightly. Naruto. I'm glad you're here, she said, her voice firm. We need every able-bodied ninja to prepare for what's coming. The reports are troubling. What do you mean? Naruto asked, leaning in closer. There are whispers of a shadow organization. They seem to be connected to the figure you faced. It's said they are gathering power, and their leader has plans that threaten all of the 5 great nations, Tsunade explained, her tone grave. Naruto's heart raced. What can we do? We need to fortify our defenses and gather intelligence. I'll need you and your team to assist with reconnaissance. You have a unique ability to sense chakra, and your clones can cover more ground. Setting off on a mission. With a newfound sense of purpose, Naruto left the Hokage's office, heading back to the training grounds where he had left the others. As he arrived, he found Sakura and Yui discussing strategies with the medical team. What did you find out? Naruto asked eagerly. Sakura turned to him, her expression serious. The medical team said they treated several villagers who reported strange symptoms after the attack. They were weak, disoriented, and some even described seeing shadows moving in the corners of their eyes. Shadows? Yui echoed, her brow furrowed in concern. What could that mean? Naruto felt the weight of their discoveries. Whatever it is, we need to figure it out before it gets worse. If there are more like the figure we faced, we have to be ready. Reuniting with Sasuke. Just then, Sasuke returned from his scouting mission, his expression unreadable. What did you find? Naruto asked, his heart racing. I saw strange chakra signatures near the outskirts of the village. They are too faint to identify, but I have a bad feeling about it, Sasuke replied. Kakashi, who had been observing quietly, stepped forward. We can't afford to ignore this. We'll have to split into teams and investigate these signatures. I'll go with Naruto, Sasuke said, determination glinting in his eyes. He can use his clones to cover more ground. The team set. Kakashi nodded, formulating a plan. Sakura, Yui, and I will investigate the area near the hospital. We'll coordinate with the medical team and gather more intel. If anything seems off, we'll report back immediately. Naruto felt a surge of adrenaline. Let's move. We need to get to the bottom of this. As they prepared to set off, the gravity of the situation settled on their shoulders. The threat was real, and they needed to act swiftly to protect their home. A journey into the unknown. Naruto and Sasuke took off toward the outskirts of the village, Naruto summoning a dozen clones to help with the search. Remember, we need to keep an eye out for any unusual chakra, Sasuke reminded him, his tone serious. Got it. Let's go. Naruto replied, feeling the energy of Sun Wukong pulsing within him. As they moved through the trees, Naruto's clones spread out, each focusing on sensing the chakra in their surroundings. The forest was quiet, but an undercurrent of tension rippled through the air. Do you feel that? Naruto asked, his senses heightened. Sasuke nodded, his Sharingan activated. There's something here. Stay alert. An encounter in the shadows. Suddenly, one of Naruto's clones shouted, I found something. They hurried over, finding the clone standing near a cluster of trees. In the center lay an ancient stone tablet, covered in strange markings that glowed faintly with dark energy. What is this? Naruto mused, leaning closer to examine the markings. Sasuke's eyes narrowed as he studied the symbols. They look like some sort of seal. It's powerful, and it could be related to the dark figure we faced. Just then, shadows began to flicker around them, and a chilling voice echoed through the trees. Fools! You shouldn't have come here. Facing the dark presence. The dark figure materialized from the shadows, his eyes gleaming with malevolence. You're meddling in matters beyond your comprehension. Naruto felt his heart pound, the power of Sun Wukong coursing through him, ready for battle. We won't let you hurt our village. Sasuke stepped beside him, Sharingan activated, determination radiating from him. We'll stop you, no matter what it takes. The figure laughed, a cold, sinister sound that sent chills down their spines. You think you can defeat me? I am merely the beginning. Soon, the shadows will consume everything. With a flick of his wrist, he summoned tendrils of darkness, surging toward Naruto and Sasuke. A fight for the future. Naruto quickly created more clones, the air crackling with energy. We can let him take control. Let's show him our strength. Sasuke's Sharingan flared, and he launched forward, ready to strike. Let's go, Naruto. As the shadows closed in, Naruto and Sasuke braced themselves for the fight of their lives. The clash of light and darkness began, a battle that would determine the fate of their village and the world beyond. The air crackled with energy as Naruto and Sasuke faced a dark figure, shadows swirling ominously around them. Every instinct screamed that this was just the beginning of a fierce battle, and the stakes had never been higher. The darkness unleashed. With a flick of his wrist, the dark figure unleashed the tendrils of shadow, darting toward Naruto and Sasuke like living servants. Naruto quickly summoned several clones to the front, forming a defensive line. "Get ready," Naruto shouted as the shadows lunged forward. Sasuke's eyes narrowed as he activated his Sharingan, focusing on the movement of the tendrils. "We need to break through the shadows and strike at the figure." With a fierce battle cry, Naruto charged forward, drawing on the strength of Sun Wukong. Shadow Clone Jutsu. He created dozens of clones, their forms blurring as they spread out, ready to distract and confuse their enemy. Fighting fire with fire. As the shadows collided with his clones, Naruto felt a familiar rush of adrenaline. He could feel the power of Sun Wukong pulsing within him, granting him speed and agility beyond his normal capabilities. "Let's go," he yelled, launching himself toward the dark figure. Sasuke followed closely behind, unleashing a barrage of shuriken infused with lightning chakra. Chidori Senbon. The projectiles sliced through the shadows, illuminating the darkness around them. The dark figure swatted away the shuriken with contempt. "Is that all you have? Pathetic," he sneered, his voice dripping with malice. Naruto smirked, his confidence unwavering. "You haven't seen anything yet." A display of power. With a swift motion, Naruto tapped into the power of the raging monkey, transforming his fists into blazing orbs of chakra. He charged forward, determined to land a solid hit on the figure. Raging fist. His fist collided with the dark figure, creating a shockwave that sent ripples through the shadows. The figure staggered back, momentarily caught off guard. "Impressive, but futile," he hissed, quickly regaining his composure. Sasuke seized the moment, unleashing a powerful fireball. Fire style, fireball jutsu. The flame surged forward, illuminating the area with its intensity. Shadowy counterattack. The dark figure raised a hand, and the shadows formed a barrier that absorbed the fireball. "You think you can defeat me with such trivial jutsu? I thrive in darkness." With a wave of his hand, he sent a wave of shadows crashing toward them. Naruto quickly called forth his clones to counter the attack, each clone using their strength to push back against the encroaching darkness. "We won't let you take control," Sasuke, sensing the strain on Naruto's clones, shouted. "We need to focus. Attack together. Strategic collaboration." "Right." Naruto agreed, rallying his clones. "Let's combine our attacks." As the shadows surged forward, Naruto and Sasuke coordinated their moves. Naruto summoned a large group of clones, creating a massive Rasengan in the center of their formation. Sasuke leaped into the air, channeling his chakra into a concentrated Chidori. "Now, Naruto! Rasengan!" Naruto shouted, launching the swirling ball of chakra toward the dark figure. At the same moment, Sasuke hurled a Chidori, the two attacks merging into one powerful force. The collision of powers. The combined attack barreled toward the dark figure, illuminating the area with a brilliant light. "No!" he screamed, raising his hands to shield himself. The Rasengan and Chidori collided with the shadows, creating an explosion that lit up the entire forest. The force sent shockwaves through the trees, knocking the figure off balance. In the aftermath of the explosion, the dark figure staggered, his shadowy form flickering as if struggling to maintain its integrity. "You'll pay for this," he roared, fury radiating from him. Resilience in the face of adversity. Despite the intensity of the battle, Naruto felt invigorated. The power of Sun Wukong surged through him, fueling his determination. "We can take him down. Let's finish this." Sasuke, breathing heavily but resolute, nodded in agreement. "This time, let's not hold back." The dark figure, now visibly weakened but far from defeated, began to gather shadows around him, forming a dense cloud. "You think you've won? You know nothing of true darkness," he hissed, his voice echoing ominously. The gathering shadows. The shadows thickened, swirling violently around the figure as he channeled his energy. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and the atmosphere grew heavy with impending dread. "What's he doing?" Naruto exclaimed, eyes wide with concern. "He's summoning something," Shizuke deduced, his Sharingan scanning the shadows for any signs of movement. "We need to disrupt his concentration." Without hesitation, Naruto charged forward once more, tapping into the power of the raging monkey. "I won't let you succeed." Shizuke followed closely behind, preparing his next attack. "I'll cover you." A desperate charge. As Naruto approached, he could feel the shadows reaching out to grab him. With every ounce of strength he had, he punched through the dark tendrils, carving a path toward the figure. "Get ready for my ultimate technique," Naruto shouted, feeling the entity of Sun Wukong build within him. "Raging Monkey, heavily strike." With that, he launched himself into the air, summoning a massive orb of light above him. The orb crackled with energy, illuminating the darkening sky. Shizuke prepared his own attack, drawing on the last of his chakra. "Chidori," he shouted, charging up to launch the final blow alongside Naruto. The climactic battle. With their attacks ready, the two leapt forward, combining their powers into a single devastating strike. Together, they yelled in unison. As they descended toward the dark figure, the shadows began to writhe and twist violently. "You cannot defeat the darkness," he screamed, but his voice was drowned out by the sound of their combined techniques. In a blinding explosion of light and energy, the two forces collided with a dark figure, engulfing him in a vortex of chakra. The impact resonated through the forest, shaking the very ground beneath them. The shadows shattered, revealing the dark figure struggling against the overwhelming power of Naruto and Shizuke's combined attack. The aftermath of the clash. As the dust settled, Naruto and Shizuke landed, breathing heavily but exhilarated. The air around them felt lighter, the oppressive darkness dissipating. "Did we?" Naruto panted, glancing at Shizuke. "I think we did," Shizuke replied, exhaustion evident in his voice. Suddenly, a faint whisper echoed through the trees, lingering in the air. "This isn't over, you will regret crossing paths with the shadows." With that ominous message, the remnants of the dark figure began to fade, leaving nothing but the silence of the forest behind. A moment of reflection. As they stood in the aftermath of their battle, the reality of their situation began to sink in. They had fought fiercely, but the threat still loomed. "We need to report back to the others," Shizuke said, a frown forming on his lips. "This is just one battle in a much larger war?" Naruto nodded, his heart still racing from the fight. "Right. But we showed him we won't back down. We'll be ready for whatever comes next." As they made their way back to the village, Naruto felt the power of Sun Wukong within him, a reminder of the strength they possessed when united. The bond between him and Shizuke had deepened, and he knew they could face any challenge together. Return to the hidden leaf. Upon returning to the village, they found Kakashi, Sakura, and Yui waiting for them, concern etched on their faces. "What happened?" Kakashi asked, urgency in his voice. "We faced a dark figure," Shizuke replied, catching his breath. "We fought hard, but he warned us this isn't over." "We need to gather everyone," Sakura said, determination gleaming in her eyes. "If we are going to face this threat, we need to prepare and strategize." "Agreed," Kakashi said, nodding. "We'll convene the higher UPS and make a plan. We can't let the darkness take hold of our village." As the group began to mobilize, Naruto felt a surge of hope. They were ready to face the coming storm together, and he knew that as long as they stood united, they could overcome anything that threatened their home. The sun hung low in the sky as Naruto, Shizuke, Sakura, and Yui gathered in a village square, a palpable tension in the air. Word had spread quickly about their encounter with the dark figure, and the villagers were anxious, their faces etched with concern. Mobilizing the village. Kakashi stood at the forefront, addressing the growing crowd of shinobi and villagers. "Thank you all for gathering on such short notice. As you know, we are facing a serious threat as shadow organization connected to the dark figure Naruto and Shizuke encountered." The murmurs of the crowd grew louder, uncertainty swirling among the villagers. Tsunade stepped forward, her commanding presence silencing the chatter. We must unite as one. This darkness will not only affect shinobi but everyone in the village. We have to be prepared to fight back. Naruto felt the weight of the situation but also a spark of determination. We can't let fear control us. We need to work together, train hard, and protect our home. Rallying the shinobi. As the crowd quieted, various shinobi stepped forward to express their readiness to fight. Neji, Hinata, and Kaiba emerged from the crowd, their expressions resolute. We're with you, Naruto, Kaiba declared, fists clenched. If there's a fight, count us in. We can form teams and cover more ground, Neji suggested, his Byakugan activated. If we gather information from the surrounding villages, we can find out more about the organization. Hinata nodded, her gentle voice filled with strength. I'll use my Byakugan to keep watch for any signs of danger. I'll go with you, Yui chimed in. My agility will help us stay undetected. Creating a strategic plan. Kakashi surveyed the group, nodding at their enthusiasm. Excellent. We need to form a plan of action. First, we'll send teams to gather intelligence on the dark figure in the shadows. Second, we'll enhance our training to ensure everyone is prepared for combat. Sakura spoke up, her determination evident. I can work with a medical team to ensure everyone is healthy and ready. If we face injuries, we need to be prepared. Tsunade crossed her arms, a thoughtful expression on her face. We also need to strengthen the village's defenses. I'll coordinate with the elders to bolster our barriers and security measures. The call to action. Naruto felt the fire of camaraderie ignite within him. Let's not waste any time. We need to start now. As the teams began to form, Naruto and Sasuke decided to head back to the training grounds to hone their skills further. The pressure of their previous encounter weighed heavily on them, and they both understood the importance of being ready for the next battle. We can't afford to be caught off guard again, Sasuke said, his brow furrowed with concentration as they approached the training area. Let's train harder than ever. Naruto replied, determination shining in his eyes. Intense training begins. Back at the training grounds, Naruto and Sasuke began a rigorous training regimen. Naruto focused on enhancing his control over the power of Sun Wukong, practicing new techniques and refining his chakra manipulation. Try to feel the energy flowing through you, Sasuke instructed, demonstrating a series of swift movements, combining taijutsu with his Sharingan. Naruto nodded, mimicking Sasuke's motions but adding his unique flair. Raging Monkey, speed burst. He propelled himself forward, the energy crackling around him as he moved with incredible speed. Sasuke observed, a hint of a smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. Good. Now combine that with your Rasengan. Creating new techniques. After hours of intense training, Naruto decided to experiment with combining his techniques. Rasengan, Monkey's Fury. He channeled the energy of Sun Wukong into the swirling sphere, infusing it with newfound power. The Rasengan glowed brilliantly, illuminating the training ground as he released it into a nearby training dummy. The impact created a shockwave that knocked the dummy into pieces, scattering wood chips across the field. Awesome! Naruto shouted, exhilaration flooding through him. I think I'm getting the hang of this. Sasuke clapped him on the back, impressed. You're improving. We just need to keep pushing our limits. Team meetings and strategy planning. As the day turned to night, the teams began to return from their reconnaissance missions. Reports flooded in about the Shadow Organization, and everyone gathered in a village square to share their findings. Kakashi listened intently as the shinobi recounted their experiences. What have you discovered? There's a pattern to their movements, Neji reported. They seem to be targeting smaller villages first, likely to gather strength before coming for us. Kaiba added, and they are recruiting people turning them into shadows. It's like they are building an army. The implications of their findings hung heavy in the air. Tsunade looked concerned. We can't let them gain any more followers. We need to intervene. Planning the next steps. Naruto stepped forward, fueled by passion. Then let's launch a counter-offensive. We can't let them take anyone else. Sasuke nodded in agreement. We should split into teams. Some can protect the villages while others confront the organization directly. Tsunade contemplated their suggestions. That's a good idea. We need to protect the surrounding areas while also keeping our village secure. As plans were finalized, Naruto felt a renewed sense of purpose. Let's prepare for the next battle. We won't let fear control us. A call to arms. As night fell, the village was alive with the sounds of preparations. Shinobi were sharpening their weapons, gathering supplies, and discussing strategies in hushed tones. Naruto, Sasuke, and the others shared a sense of camaraderie as they prepared to face the coming storm. The tension in the air was palpable, but so was the determination. Each member of the village understood the stakes, and they were ready to stand united against the darkness that threatened their home. The calm before the storm. That night, as Naruto lay on his bed, he gazed up at the ceiling, thoughts racing through his mind. He could feel the power of Sun Wukong within him, a comforting reminder of his strength. We'll win, he whispered to himself, a smile forming on his lips. We'll protect everyone. No one else will get hurt. In his dreams, he envisioned the battles ahead, the bonds forged in the heat of combat, and the triumph that awaited them. The shadows may be gathering, but so was their strength.